We're back in Uptown Charlotte here at Truist Field for the second game this weekend of the 704 outdoor face-off. Last night, the War Eagle flew away with a 9-4 victory as the Auburn Tigers took down the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. And tonight, it's the South Carolina Gamecocks and the North Carolina Tar Heels. I'm Chris Lehman, joined alongside by John Johnson. We'll also have Austin McConnell and Kendall Smith with us on the broadcast tonight. A full booth, and it should be a fantastic game tonight, John. The setting behind us can't be beat.
It's a phenomenal setting. It's a great opportunity for these young men to be out here playing outdoor games, which is pretty uncommon even at the collegiate level. So it's going to be an exciting night with two evenly matched teams.
Absolutely, and these are two teams that should draw a pretty good crowd. Both teams played here last year as part of the outdoor festivities. The Gamecocks brought the biggest crowd, and the North Carolina Tar Heels weren't far behind, and I think both fan bases showing out again here tonight.
We've got a great crowd tonight. South Carolina always travels well. They support the team well. You can hear it in the applause for the team when they came out, so we should have an excited fan base here tonight.
Well, one thing that's been a storyline throughout this weekend so far and will continue to be is ice conditions. We were down there a little bit earlier. You kind of likened it to pond hockey with some cracks in the ice, but you're going to have some of those issues and miscues when you have an outdoor game like this.
An outdoor game in North Carolina always runs the risk of warm weather during the day, and we had that today, warm, sunny conditions. The ice looks a little bit like pond hockey ice, but they've done a good job maintaining it. And it will evenly affect both teams. It's possible that it could be a little bit rough to start. You might see a little difficulty in some of the more finesse passes, but we'll see how that pans out as the game goes on.
Well, it'll certainly be an interesting one, and it is a fantastic atmosphere here for this game tonight. As we mentioned, it's the North Carolina Tar Heels and the South Carolina Gamecocks. John and I will be back in just a moment to talk about the Tar Heels.
Only the ServiceNow platform puts AI agents to work across your company. They deal with the small stuff that bogs you down.
Agents like secret agents?
You know, I once played a secret agent.
Oh, I missed that one. I heard you were great.
I was great.
Hi, I'm Alex.
I'm Jane. And I'm his mom.
Sometimes, you could have done better. Same goes for where you invest. Level up and invest smarter with Schwab.
Right now, 14 people are waiting for you to join the call.
Your camera's on.
And lead it.
We can see you.
Never too greasy, never too spicy, always delicious. Hormel pepperoni, boldly irresistible.
I've heard it said. Are you all right? Look at me.
Not with your eyes. With theirs.
Rated PG.
We got a sandwich, Phil? I'm gonna call a lunch audible to this new Jimmy John's toasted pizza sandwich. Encroachment! Flag on the plate!
Do you even know what you're saying?
Oh, I'm certain I don't.
Here for when you wanted to make some healthy choices, but didn't realize how many choices there were.
Need some help?
Which one's for athletes?
B12 to help with your energy.
Attention shoppers, prices are doubling.
What's his deal? What's his deal? He got that more for your money feeling at Metro. With one line of unlimited 5G for just $40, period. And a free 5G phone, and no activation fees, and the best network. Get holiday savings only at Metro.
I'm stumped. Friendly insurance lizard, first letter G. Geppetto?
Come on, you just switched to Geico for car insurance? They knew exactly what you needed?
The friendly people at Geico weren't lizards.
Think European accent, yay big.
Napoleon?
No.
Not even a lizard.
Maybe I can help. No way, it's the Geico Gecko. This guy knows crosswords.
64 across is quibble.
Thank you.
Get more support.
Is that how you spell fracascia?
Get more with Geico.
Well, as we mentioned, it has been a lot of work to get the ice rink ready for today's game. We got to look at a time lapse of today. A lot of sunlight, and it really was kind of a pool, John, as they had to get things ready, but this ice crew's done a pretty good job.
They have. We saw a little bit of standing water, especially at the blue line behind us. That's part of the reason for the delay to start the game, is waiting for temperatures to drop. But the ice crew has done a phenomenal job. I think the conditions will be overall very good. It's better than last year. So should not be really a significant factor in tonight's game.
Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right, and all the credit to the crew getting things ready. We want to turn our focus to the players that will be on that ice tonight now, and more specifically, John, the Tar Heels coming off a big win over ECU, 5-6-2 coming in, so a record you'd like to see a little bit better if you're a Tar Heel fan, but they've been playing solid hockey.
Well, first of all, the Tar Heels moved up this year to Division I, so the competition is a lot more intense. They're at 500, but they're playing very competitive hockey. So in the past month and a half, since October 1st, they've held all opponents to 4 goals or less. Where they've really been struggling a little bit is to generate offense outside of their top line. And that top line, anchored by Patrick O'Shaughnessy, has really been setting the tempo for this Tar Heels team. So as we come in tonight, hopefully we'll see somebody from the 3rd or 4th line step up.
Yeah, absolutely, but as you talk about that top line, they are a lot of fun to watch, and of course, with the experience they have on that line as well, they've been in an outdoor game situation before as well.
They have. So the top scorers, Daniel Cobb, Patrick O'Shaughnessy, Will Smith, they've all been in this game before. They were the leading scorers for the Tar Heel team last year, and I think they're going to bring that experience and that intensity to this game tonight.
Absolutely. We're going to take another break. When we come back, I'll be joined by Austin McConnell as we take a look at the Gamecocks.
Imagine a place where each one of us can leave a heel print on the world around us, where the success of the team starts with you. That's Carolina. Imagine your heel print.
What's he so excited about?
He just heard about Gladwell Orthodontics Invisalign Night.
Woo! Yeah, woo! Invisalign what?
Invisalign Night, the only night where new customers can save over $1,100 on Invisalign treatment.
And great prizes!
And they're giving away some pretty sweet prizes like free Thanksgiving dinner.
That sounds awesome!
Come join us November 5th and 6th for the Gladwell Orthodontics Invisalign Night at our Raleigh and Wake Forest locations.
Gladwell!
The orthodontist that mouths are talking about.
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
Here at the University of South Carolina, I didn't have to choose between playing D1 ball and law school. You know, ever since I came here, my world just started expanding. They put me on this hallway with a bunch of doors, and then every door could be an opportunity. It's been a whole community of people who helped me transform my competitiveness on the court to doing meaningful work. I came here as a competitor. I left more certain of who I am and the impact I want to make.
Hey everybody, I'm out here at our ice rink at Truist Field, but I want to remind you that this rink won't be here in just a few months. It'll be time for baseball season. Charlotte Knights season is quickly approaching, and tickets are going on sale soon. Tickets will be on sale soon for our opening night, Friday, March 27th. The Charlotte Knights taking on the Durham Bulls, and for the rest of the season. So head over to charlotteknights.com. Stay on the lookout over there. We can't wait to welcome you all back to the ballpark.
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
Chris Lehman now joined by Austin McConnell, the play-by-play voice of the Gamecocks Hockey Club. And Austin, welcome to the broadcast. Glad to have you on with us tonight. And we're going to talk about the Gamecocks here now and put a focus on the South Carolina team. Off to a strong start on the season, 5-3-1, split a pair of games at Tennessee last weekend. So not a bad start for the Gamecocks.
Not at all. And 5-3-1 is actually kind of a slower start normally for the Gamecocks. You know, they've won national championships before, but that split against Tennessee, they've split against a lot of teams this season as well. Coach Alan Serrois said their one bad game was the second game on the back-to-back against Florida, where they let up 5 goals in the third period. So that's going to be the key tonight. Just don't give up too many goals and strike early and often.
And as we start to turn our focus to this game tonight, there's a lot of experience on this team. We were talking about it in the pregame that this team, you know, they lost some bodies, but there's still a lot of guys that are on this roster that played here and had a successful game against NC State last year. So there are some guys to keep an eye out for, without a doubt.
Absolutely, and a couple of those guys are John Riggins, Colin Reed, bunch of leaders in that locker room. And John Riggins just recently broke the program goals record just a couple games ago, so look out for him to find the back of the net tonight. And then Colin Reed, coach was talking about how much of a leader he's been in his 3 years here at the University of South Carolina, and how he's going to continue to grow and develop with the rest of the team. Losing a lot of guys after last year, over 10 guys they lost due to graduation or just transfers in general. So looking for a couple guys to step up big time, but John Riggins and Colin Reed are the ones you got to watch out for.
Well, as we kind of turn our focus here a little bit to the matchup as well, South Carolina going to have a tough test against a UNC team that's made the jump up to Division I this year and has done, despite a losing record, has been very competitive. What do you expect the Gamecocks to do with the Tar Heels tonight?
Well, the Gamecocks took care of business against them last year. They won both games by 1 goal each game. So, but I think it's going to be a lot closer tonight. It's a little 50-50. It's all going to be about who comes out that first period and really stuns that other team, who punches them in the face quick. Maybe it's with the goal, maybe it's with just more shots on net. Just how can you tilt the ice and make sure that you can control the game from the start?
Absolutely. Well, the stands still filling in down below us, but a good crowd on hand already here at Truist Field. It's the second of 6 games over 2 weekends for the 704 outdoor face-off. North Carolina and South Carolina coming up next.
Only the ServiceNow platform connects every corner of your business, putting AI to work for people.
HR?
Yeah.
IT?
Yeah.
R&D?
Yep.
OMG?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's the department I work in.
All right, enough of that.
Spam in a taco? Pork favor. Sizzle, pork, and mmm.
You don't want to miss this.
Haven't you heard? I'm the Wicked Witch of the West.
Rated PG.
I have arrived. We're cooler than cool. We're flyer than fly. And the magic? You know we brought it. Yeah, we came to play.
Believe me, when it comes to investing, you'll love Carl's Way. Take a left here, please.
But there's a...
Carl's Way is the best way.
Is it? At Schwab, how I choose to invest is up to me.
Exactly. I can invest and trade on my own.
Yes, and I let them manage some investments for me, too.
Let's move on, shall we?
No can do.
I'll get out here.
Where are you going?
Schwab.
Schwab, a modern approach to wealth management.
Attention shoppers, prices are doubling.
What's his deal? What's his deal? He got that more for your money feeling at Metro with 1 line of unlimited 5G for just $40, period. And a free 5G phone and no activation fees and the best network. Get holiday savings only at Metro.
Compliments of the chef.
Oh?
He was so glad that he had emergency roadside service with Geico. And since they saved his bacon, he presents to you a bacon tart flambe with fig.
heck, mate? Look, I don't need special treatment. I'm just happy that he's happy.
You're too humble, Mr. Gecko, which is why we also present to you. And I don't need special treatment. Run-of-the-mill grilled cheese.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Get more savings in service. Get more with Geico.
Jersey Mike's is now an official sponsor of the NFL.
Hold on. You're stealing my job.
I don't want to steal anything.
Lies. Eli's.
I just love these subs.
It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Llegó Black Friday a The Home Depot.
¿Estás listo para la temporada?
Sí, ya empezamos con el árbol.
Este año nos vamos a lucir.
Ahora sí se siente la Navidad.
Este Black Friday, ponle tu sello a la Navidad con The Home Depot.
The Gamecocks on the ice. The North Carolina Tar Heels about to make their way out here at Truist Field. Chris Lehman alongside John Johnson as we're closing in on the first period puck drop. Game number 2 of the 7:04 outdoor face-off. It was the Auburn Tigers taking down the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers 9-4 last night. Of course, North Carolina and South Carolina matching up tonight before we wrap up the first weekend with NC State and Alabama tomorrow night. And then on the second weekend, it'll be Georgia Tech and ECU on Thursday, Georgia and Virginia Tech on Friday, and we'll wrap up the 6-game slate with what really started all of this, the matchup, I should say, that started all of this in the Charlotte 49ers and the App State Mountaineers. So plenty more hockey to come here at Truist Field in Charlotte. As I mentioned, I'm Chris Lehman alongside John Johnson. We'll have Austin McConnell back with us at the first intermission. I'll take over the play-by-play duties in the second period as well, and we joined ringside as well by Kendall Smith. So a great crew to bring you what should be a fantastic game tonight. And John, as we can see, great atmosphere already.
It's phenomenal atmosphere. I think what we're seeing is the result of the growth of hockey overall around the country, but especially here in the South. You know, 10 years ago, the idea of an outdoor game and multiple outdoor games here in Charlotte, people might have laughed at you, but now we're seeing really a full house here tonight to root on 2 local teams. And we have sort of the brewings, I think, of a rivalry that we're going to see year over year as this continues.
And one thing you need is close games to help build a rivalry. These two teams met twice last year. They were both 1-goal wins for the Gamecocks. So I would imagine if you're North Carolina, on top of the fact that they weren't able to come away with the win at their outdoor game against Virginia Tech last year, they're going to be looking for some redemption there, as well as some redemption against the Gamecocks themselves. So it should be a fantastic one. As you can see, the Gamecocks will be in their white uniforms tonight. In their classic Carolina blue will be the Tar Heels. We're just about set, though, for the national anthem, so we'll throw it down to the rink for the presenting of the colors and the national anthem.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Now the national anthem has been sung, and there's nothing left to do but drop the puck. Chris Lehman and John Johnson with you as we get set for North Carolina and South Carolina. Let's take a look at the goaltending matchups. Two strong netminders. Tyler Tamoyan in between the pipes for the Gamecocks. In 8 games so far this season, he's amassed a 5-2-1 record with a .278 goals against average, just shy of 900 with an .893 save percentage. And on the other side, John, Lucas Brown will be in net for the Tar Heels. He's been kind of an anchor for that team the last couple of years.
He has. And so what we're seeing are both two very experienced netminders, both seniors, both anchoring their teams, especially for the Gamecocks. Tamoyan has been played in every game this season except one. Both are very fundamentally sound. I think you can expect good games out of both of them tonight. They've been consistently consistent performers throughout the season, and I think you can see that in the scores, especially for the past month or two for both of these teams, generally holding opponents to 4 goals or less.
Well, it's going to be tough to do that against a pretty strong South Carolina team that has, well, they haven't been able to capitalize in a similar fashion to the Tar Heels. They do have some punch offensively. We talked, of course, with Austin about John Riggins, the Bethpage, New York native, one of the alternate captains for this team and a senior, leads the team with 11 points and 8 assists. We'll also see Carson Scove out there, who leads the team in goals with 7. So there's some punch at the top of that Gamecock lineup, similar to what we've seen from North Carolina in the past, and the guy I always keep an eye on for in the Carolina Blues, number 21, wearing the C, Patrick O'Shaughnessy.
That's right. Patrick O'Shaughnessy was the leading scorer for the Tar Heels last year. Leading scorer for them again this year, no surprise. I think really the Tar Heels were waiting for one of the new additions to the team, freshman or sophomore, really to step up, sort of to like pave the way for who's going to replace O'Shaughnessy, once this season's over. But definitely they're going to rely heavily on him.
North Carolina on the attack right off the opening draw. O'Shaughnessy on that far wall looking to close things off. He'll force it back down into the corner. But the Gamecocks able to flip it back in front of the benches and clear the zone for the moment. Now they'll put some pressure on just inside. First one to it is Jake Pushkar. Throws it through the slot. Nobody able to get a stick to it. Pushkar back to it. He'll throw it wide of Brown on the blocker side. Gamecocks in those white jerseys moving right to left across your screen here in the first period. And that light blue, North Carolina, moving left to right.
Pushkar was able to take advantage of a loose puck right near the blue line, was able to walk that in, get a shot that was actually made a centering pass that was blocked by the UNC sliding defenseman.
Puck loose in the slot, popped up in the air and into neutral ice. That will force the Tar Heels to retreat. Just a minute gone. We already saw a goal at this point last night. It only took 18 seconds for Auburn to get on the score sheet. And only a minute and 25 seconds for them to double that lead. Tracked down back behind the Gamecock net. And South Carolina looked to break out. Floated into the North Carolina end where Issa Mansur can get to it. Flipped up the far side.
Potential 3-on-2 here.
Camboche looking to the middle, trickling in on Tamoyan. It pops up in the air as he went for the poke check, and the goaltender gets a glove to it. First stoppage, 1:34 in, and so far, John, no one really with a really threatening opportunity.
No, you saw there, UNC was able to use a little bit of speed, enter the zone with a 3-on-2 that was rapidly turned into 3-on-3 due to some good back checking by the Gamecocks.
Quick shot off the face-off, the flex wide. Zukowski on the shot there for the Heels. It'll be chip and chase here for South Carolina. Lots of speed as Lucas Brown under pressure behind. It squirts out in front, nobody with a white jersey there, and now it's an odd man rush for the Tar Heels moving back the other way. Weaving through the middle, Zukowski. He'll throw one off of Bodiak. They are offsides. And so the Tar Heels end up wasting an odd man opportunity there, but a scary moment for them as well in the defensive end.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of dump and chase, which is a little bit out of character for the Gamecocks. They like a possession type game, carrying the puck into the zone. But they dumped it in, but they had all three forwards deep. So when that puck trickled in front of the net, due to a misplay, there was nobody there to put it home.
One thing to keep an eye on, we saw it a couple times last night, as looks like the collision in front of the scorer's table in the penalty box has jarred a door loose, which has led to the stoppage. But last night, back behind what is right now the North Carolina net, right around the Circle K advertisement. So you get a look at that door coming loose. But right at that Circle K advertisement behind the North Carolina net, and then over in that right corner, back behind that South Carolina defenseman you see there, where the Zamboni doors are, is where we saw some awkward caroms. We'll keep an eye on those spots again tonight.
Also, with a warm day, sometimes the last parts of the ice that are going to freeze up and be good for skating are right in those corners in the back. And that can also impact, when you're trying to handle the puck back behind the net.
Gamecocks back the other way. Slipping and sliding there was Lucas Van Bowen. The Tar Heels able to take advantage and move it into the offensive end. Gamecocks slip it right back out. It'll be tracked down on that far side by Kevin Ma. Neither team really able to possess the puck out of their own end here at the moment. Now a chance with some space, though, for Zach Kodish. They'll throw it deep. Tommy Marvin there. Bouncing puck just escapes the zone. It's tied up in the skates of a linesman. And the Tar Heels able to reverse play again. Zukowski down that right wing. Or pardon me, Kodish. Into the corner.
Got his stick stuck in the boards there.
It's one of those problem areas. Shot from the point. Ends up in the far corner. Swept right back across by Hilton. That's loose behind the goal. Hilton again. He'll look up top. Moved along to the far side for Gutman. Played down low. Backhand pass from Blahnik is intercepted and cleared, and now the Gamecocks can alleviate a little pressure.
There's a good point blank opportunity there in the scrum in front of the net.
Blahnik takes a hit as he dumps it in. Tar Heels need a change, so that'll give South Carolina a chance to set up the breakout. Just shy of 4 minutes into this contest. No score yet. And neither team really with a great scoring chance. The best chance was an awkward carom out in front with Brown behind the net, but nobody was there. South Carolina applying some pressure here. And a pass out to the blue line escapes the zone, and the Gamecocks reset.
We're seeing some bouncing pucks. Could be a reflection of the ice as well. Some of the defensemen have had trouble sort of keeping that puck in at the blue.
Retreating for it now, John Riggins. We mentioned him throughout the pregame, one of the leaders on this Gamecock squad. South Carolina gets it deep. That's Reed chasing after it. Backhanded around by Drew Smith. But not out. Good pressure here from the Gamecocks. Back at the blue line. Wrist shot coming. Hit a body in front. Loose right in front of the crease. And the Tar Heels able to clear it out of danger and eventually out of the zone. It's O'Shaughnessy with the pressure here on the forecheck, trying to step through a defenseman, but unable to take the puck with him.
Gamecocks got great traffic in front, and of course it was Riggins right there in front of the net with a good opportunity.
Icing the call here, so South Carolina going to have to retreat to their own end for this next face-off.
So in the first 5 minutes, both teams still seem to be feeling each other out. I think the coaches would have preferred a little stronger start from both benches. We know both of them wanted to get out quick, protect, get an early goal, but good competitive game, just a little bit sluggish as far as sustained zone time.
Shots are 3-2 in favor of the Tar Heels at the moment. They win another draw. They've been controlling the face-off circle for the most part here early in the game. And now South Carolina going to ice the puck once again, and a little bit of a protest there from Enzo Finelli. The Gamecock player chasing it down. I think he thought there was some sort of miscue on that call, so they will bring the face-off outside of the South Carolina end. It'll be a center ice face-off instead. Looks like it will be Nick Gingra on the draw for North Carolina. Up against the captain Pushkar of South Carolina, and the Gamecocks win that draw. They'll send it deep. Brown sets it up behind his net. Tar Heels struggling to get it out. Loose in the slot. Back over on that near side. And Finelli unable to steer it in front. That'll give the Tar Heels a chance to move out.
Finelli had an opportunity there. He just sort of fanned on that pass to get it to the center.
Grady chasing down the dump in. He's got Gingra in the corner. Back behind the net. Grady bodied up. Again, he finds Gingra. David DeBoy on him. And now South Carolina clears again. The Gamecocks, more so than North Carolina recently, has struggled with the breakout. Yet another icing, as you were saying there, John.
Yeah, I think both teams are trying to set up a breakout, putting the winger at the board, have somebody come through this middle, sort of a center that winger can hit, and neither team has really been successful at it so far.
The face-off to that near side of the South Carolina net. One to the wall, Tar Heels control. Chip down along the hashes. Grady throws it off the wall, back out in front, and South Carolina able to take over. Moved forward by Pushkar. He's trying to walk through the defense. Leaves it there for Finelli, who throws it right into the gut of Brown. And he'll swallow it up with 13:46 to go in the period. Well, the crowd is here in full force tonight. The home run porch to our right here in the broadcast booth is completely full. It's standing room only. And I cannot wait to hear the reaction when one of these teams finally puts one in the net and gets this crowd going. 4-4 in shots, but they haven't really given anybody anything to get really too anxious about so far. Up the near side, it'll be skated out by Owen Kenny. Handed off for Sangster. Thrown on goal, glove save, and Tamoyan will hold on. We'll get another face-off in the South Carolina end, but really kind of choppy, kind of disjointed play it feels like so far.
It has been disjointed play, and I think you saw there a little bit of impatience coming into the zone. Kenny comes into the zone. We got three people, but rather than wait for the defenseman to come in to set up, he takes that quick shot, and then we're at another face-off.
Bouncing puck.
We see another bouncing puck.
Out of the zone, and now South Carolina will settle it down. Swept to the middle and then intercepted. Tar Heels, Ansbacher able to clear it up the wall. It's the Gamecocks who will get to the loose puck first. Tommy Marvin with some speed behind his own net. Played up that near wall and then back across. Nico Tashin after it. Sweeps it back behind. Centering pass intercepted by Sangster, and the Tar Heels clear. They'll get some fresh legs out there. Tajin on the forecheck with some help there from Dunphy, and they'll force it into the corner. Backhand pass out in front. Tar Heels there defensively to make the play. Glonick under some pressure. Pardon me, Smith on the play.
Good use of the body by Hilton down in the corner earlier to take away a potential crossing pass.
A little bit of a gasp from the crowd there as Carson Scove laid the hit on Owen Kenny. Cleared down the ice. Icing will be waved off. And the Tar Heels going to get to a loose puck. Gutman looking out in front. It's directed back behind. And we'll get a whistle and a stoppage with the net off its moorings.
It'll be interesting to see what the players think of the ice. We've seen a lot of bouncing pucks, which can be indicative of a little more challenging ice conditions. We don't see any standing water, so that's good given how hot it was today.
Off the draw, Tar Heels control again as Gutman wins the face-off. He'll poke it along behind the goal. Glonick tracking for it. Swung right back around. Pinching in to hold the zone is Camboche. And North Carolina with some pressure, but can't get a shot away. Back out Winkleblatt. He'll take a shot that hits a body. Deflects into that far corner, worked back behind the Tar Heels, trying to find some space to break out. But the pass from Mansert is shot right back in. Out in front, backhand try. Brown has it sealed on that near post. Couple of tries there for Sangster before he's able, before he's able to clear. A little bit of extracurriculars back behind the play. As South Carolina, a little bit of a miscue and a big hit laid on Daniel Cobber. Starting to see the physicality ramp up here in this first period.
Well, in talking with the South Carolina coaches, they noted the grittiness of their team and the physicality.
It's evident already. Move back down low. It's the captain O'Shaughnessy. Swept out front, loose puck, scrambling to Moyen. And his defense able to clear it out of danger and all the way down the ice. Not enough juice for icing.
That's probably the best opportunity for UNC. O'Shaughnessy comes from behind the net, takes sort of an odd angle shot, but catches the goalie a little bit off guard.
Shaughnessy had to go on and off his stick. Reversed now by the Gamecocks with some speed. It's Riggins forced out in front. Good chance on the side of the goal. Baxter can't finish it off, and North Carolina will skate it back out with some pace. Down
Riggins really showed a really good deke there.
Shot deflected just wide. Picked up in the corner. O'Shaughnessy worked back down below the goal line. He's got Cobber there. A little bit of extra support in there as well from Kevin Ma. The Gamecocks not letting anything out in front. This one will pop up in the air, still in the zone. O'Shaughnessy, he'll be bodied off the puck, but he's able to find Cobber first. Back up to the blue line for Ma. Now down to the hashes. Good sequence here for the Tar Heels. From an off angle, Tamoyan handles that one. Reversing with it down low, Will Smith, and his pass exits the zone, and maybe a chance here for South Carolina.
Tired
Colin
legs.
Reed takes the shot, and it's blockered right back to him in the corner. Now Baxter out towards the blue line, and that shot ends up wide off the stick of David DeBoy. Transition chance now for Grady. He'll walk in. Save made, and it's held on to by Tamoyan with 9:38 left in the period. And about the halfway mark of the first, we're going to check in with Kendall Smith down rinkside. She's been able to talk with the ice crew about the conditions a little bit. What's going on down there, Kendall?
Yeah, guys, well, some good news. If you were joining us yesterday, those that are watching for the Auburn-Coastal Carolina game, the ice seems to be in a lot better condition at this point in the game than it was yesterday. Still some snow, of course, down here, cracks and crevices, as you would expect with an outdoor game, obviously, but it is much better, and that's what the ice crew was saying. I was speaking with the Charlotte Knights director of special events, Troy Rodriguez, and he said the biggest problem here today was that there was a bunch of sunshine pouring in onto the ice, and for the red lines, the blue lines, that was really the problem spot because they started to melt and puddle up a little bit, but the ZAM crew did a great job getting out here, cutting the ice, making sure that it's good to go, and I would say, yeah, being here last night and being here tonight, this ice is looking a lot better already, which is great news for these guys, but both of these teams, their coaches have mentioned they're ready to play in the elements and, you know, just enjoy what it's like playing in an outdoor setting, which is obviously different than inside, guys.
Oh yeah, and it's been an entertaining start. Still looking for somebody to break through. Nobody giving a lot of space so far. Stickley had it stolen away. Grady will move in with it here. Circles behind the goal, looking over his options, decides to keep it back up to the blue line. Swept towards the goal, that one is blocked, and then chipped out by Pushkar.
The last two possessions in the South Carolina zone by the Tar Heels have been good. They've gotten all 5 players involved. You can see good rotation between the forwards and the defense.
Here come the Gamecocks. Quick shot right into the breadbasket of the goaltender Brown. Easy save on Pushkar, and we'll get a face-off with 8:43 to go in period number 1. Here's another look at that last chance. I think if you're the captain of the Gamecocks there, you want to hit the pads of Brown instead of putting it right in his gut where he can swallow it up.
Exactly. I think you'd like to have that one back. If you hit the pads, you kick out a rebound to your partner who's coming in, high slot, get a potential rebound goal. To Brown's credit, he came out, he squared up on the shot and swallowed it.
We're going to throw Jack Sangster out of the circle, so Matt Grady will take the draw. The Gamecocks able to win it. Dragging down the wall, Bonsukin. Looking to the middle, but that's disrupted, and the Tar Heels will take over. Chipped out on the breakout pass from Cam Bosch, which is deflected back and sent right back out by the Tar Heels again. A bit of ping pong action here. Tashin comes away with it. He'll play it off the wall for Van Mullen to skate into. Works his way around the defenseman there in Manser. Stopped up in the corner before he sends it to the blue line. Across now for Bonsukin, one-timer. Ends up in the glass. Tracked down in the corner now by Carson Skove. Skove, we mentioned, team lead in goals with 7 through 8 contests, almost a goal a game for the senior. And now the puck chipped up and out of play, just under 8 minutes left in the period.
Yeah, Skove and Riggins obviously have been anchoring this team from an offensive perspective, but in our talking with the coaching staff, there's 2 promising freshman forwards that have come in, Lucas Van Mullen and Nico Tajan, and both of them have been able to contribute this year with multiple goals and assists.
And off the face-off, one back towards the South Carolina end, but collected by the Tar Heels, and Kenny will shoot it into the zone to start the forecheck. Ansbacher into pressure. Chipped up the wall anyhow. Skove first to it. He'll look rink wide, and Tajan gets a stick to it. Trying to walk around the defender. Chases a loose puck behind the goal. Kenny trying to knock him off balance, and the pass sent all the way down the ice. That will alleviate things for the Tar Heels to get a change.
It's a nice entry by the Gamecocks. Great idea, getting the defense set up. It's just that point pass did not connect, and they're resetting.
Puck trickles in on Brown with some pressure coming from Garrett Alpers. He'll cover it up, and a face-off in the North Carolina end. But you couldn't ask for a much more evenly matched game so far, John. You look at shots on goal, 11-10 in favor of the Gamecocks. They haven't really been separated by more than a shot on goal or 2 throughout the entirety of this first almost 13 minutes now. And we still haven't really seen a golden opportunity on either side. A couple of scary moments, but no real good chances.
Right, we haven't seen sort of what I would call the premium quality opportunity yet.
Tar Heels looking for it there, out in front, but it's right through the skates of Ansbacher. And that will be cleared out by the Gamecocks. Zajic to it. His pass off a Gamecock stick. And South Carolina will take over.
Both teams are doing a good job of contesting the neutral zone and holding the blue line. So you're going to see a lot of bodies in the center part of the ice as the teams start to transition.
Back up the wall for Albers on that near side in front of his own bench. Tracked down from behind by Cobber. Looking for O'Shaughnessy, they can't connect. Gamecocks able to possess and shoot at the length of the ice. No icing, so Brown out to play it with lines changing.
Really nice back check by Cobber to create a turnover and disrupt the Gamecock rush.
On the near side, Gingra trying to skate away from pressure, loses the puck though in the process, and back the other way, it's the captain and Pushcook. He'll throw it around the wall. South Carolina unable to hold the zone. That'll be tracked down now by Riggins. And he'll pick up speed. Has some space as well. Nice defensive play, though, by Grady to take the puck away. And the Tar Heels can reverse play.
Great job by Grady, watching his waist, basically, and making sure that he doesn't get burned by that deep.
Stretch pass here. Riggins will get a stick to it to negate an icing. That'll give the Gamecocks a chance to set up a forecheck. Breakout pass intercepted along the wall by Baxter. He'll work it below the goal line. Spinning with it is Colin Reed. He's got 2 Tar Heels on him, finds Riggins anyhow, and it'll be worked back up to the blue line. Across now, it finds DeBoy. He'll throw it on goal. Trying to get a tip was Riggins, but it ended up wide anyhow. Tar Heels able to gain control of it through Pye. Plays it out of the zone. Tar Heels force it deep. First one to it, though, is D-Boy. The South Carolina defenseman pinned to the wall. Gingra to the loose puck. He's trying to turn one in front. Now it's worked back out to Ma. Down low, one-timer fanned on by Zukowski. Tar Heels able to maintain pressure, though. Ma again. His shot is blocked. Bouncing puck in the neutral zone. It's a foot race for it. And the first one there is Will Hilton to slow up South Carolina, but they're not stopped yet.
Good cross coverage by Hilton, covering for his partner after that puck went off the shin guard.
Gamecocks have it down low. It's Riggins. He gets knocked off his feet with a heavy hit from Gingra. But South Carolina still has possession. Riggins up the wall looking there for Tommy Marvin, who wasn't along the wall. Free clear and maybe a chance now for the Tar Heels. Shot fought off there by the goaltender Tamoyan. And South Carolina has control again. Looking to catch North Carolina in a bit of a change. Pinched off there, though, was Marvin. And the puck skitters into the corner. And now it's worked back up top. Slap shot coming, glove save, held onto by Brown as Finelli stepped into one. And just over 4 minutes left in the period, starting to see the chances come a little bit more.
We
John.
did. We saw Riggins take 2 hits as he was trying to generate some offense in that zone, and then UNC transition was able to hit Patrick O'Shaughnessy, who came in and took a shot from that right dot.
Well, it looks like Brown making an adjustment to his pads at the moment. So a quick pause as he does so, but it'll be an offensive zone draw for South Carolina.
And we saw a little bit of that physicality. You know, if you're North Carolina, Riggins, as high skill as he is only 5'10", 170 pounds. So you think maybe if you give him the body, have a hit or two, maybe you get him off his game a little bit.
And now it'll be skated out. Ansbacher got to the blue line before he was stopped. The puck is left there. And now the Tar Heels with a second effort from Sangster get out. Overskated a bit by Ansbacher. Sangster sends it around the wall. Gamecocks chip it right back up to the blue line, but Hilton holds it in. He'll send it back across now for Sangster to chase down. Swept along to the far corner. Worked back behind. The Gamecocks look to set up a breakout. Some space with the Tar Heels making some changes. 3.5 to go now as it's sent behind the goal along the side, picked up by Pushkar. Looking out in front, nobody there. High slot though, the shot coming. Van Mullen can't put it on goal. But pinching in, Tajin forces it deep before the Tar Heels take it out. Now Kenny under pressure, just has to dump and change. Now Van Mullen chipped forward, a soft pass, skitters to the neutral zone. He can track it down and slides one just wide of Brown in that far post. One of the better chances of the period. Chipped up the wall, but not out. Kicked at by Grady, back up to the blue line. South Carolina still, for the moment, had it in the zone. Second effort from Carolina, forced it all the way down. And it'll be chipped right back up and out. Camboche chasing down the puck in his own end.
We're seeing rushes by both teams, but we're not seeing a lot of sustained zone time by either team.
Ooh, tricky shot there from Tajin. It hit a body on the way in, but Brown able to adjust and make the save. And exactly 2.5 minutes to go on the stoppage.
We've also had a clean period, no penalties whatsoever.
And not even something that you could say was missed.
Nope.
Very good, clean, physical game. Both teams have been solid. They just haven't been able to find the net. Face-off won by the Gamecocks. Shot whistles wide there for Bonsukin, but South Carolina keeps the zone. Swung just past the near side through the legs of Tajin, and now the Tar Heels can break out. Cobber looking to the middle. It's Kevin Ma with speed. Handed off now for Will Smith. He'll throw it into the middle, and a nice save made there, and a little extracurriculars after the fact as a Tar Heel maybe got in there and gave a little poke to Tyler Tamoyan.
It looked like Daniel Cobber mixing it up in front of the net. And down at the other end, Kai Bonsukin, who's got 3 goals on the season, put a nice wrister down low, really trying to generate some offense. And that's potentially someone you can see who could be a difference maker this game. He has good offensive skills and the ability to put the puck in the net.
We got to look at that replay. It was Cobber, just a little poke there trying to knock the puck loose. And of course the Gamecocks didn't really like that all too much. 2:01 on the clock as it's cleared out of the zone off the face-off. Zajic gets a touch to it. Leaves it for Ma to play off the boards. And it'll be chipped down low for the Gamecocks to take over. Loose puck. There's one of those areas to keep an eye on right in front of the Zamboni doors. Looks like it got caught up for a moment. Gamecocks able to break it out anyhow. Pestered from behind there is Matthew Baxter. He's got Smith on him. Baxter just steers it back behind the goal. Overskated by a Tar Heel defenseman and retrieved anyhow. Kevin Ma was that defenseman, and he'll break it out for Cobber to shoot in. Right on Tamoyan, who holds on and stops the clock with 1:19 to go in the period.
It's been a pretty quick period overall. I mean, a lot of continuous tempo hockey. We haven't seen a lot of rhythm to either team, a lot of sustained zone time. There's been a lot of shots on goal, but I would say that very few have tested the goalies to make very difficult saves. Both goalies have been very sound, obviously.
Well, here's a chance in front. Tamoyan, a point-blank glove save. There's that first really good chance, and Tamoyan was up to the task.
And just as we're talking about it, there he is, making a big save, flashing the leather.
And Tamoyan was frustrating to the NC State Ice Pack here in Charlotte last year, as he made some really tough saves. He's a big body, listed at 6'1", 185, but he takes up a lot of space with all that padding on as well. Block shot, and it's picked up by Riggins to skate out there for South Carolina. He'll skate through contact and try and chase the puck down in that far corner. Down to the final minute of this first period now, as Riggins trying to step in front. He'll be taken down, and we're going to get our first power play of the game, and it'll go to the Gamecocks. I believe this is going to be a tripping penalty on number 26, Will Hilton.
And I think we can see a little bit of the UNC strategy when it comes to Riggins himself. Riggins, an incredibly high-skilled player. You can see he's getting body contact as he comes into the zone, and ultimately results in a tripping penalty, which will work in the Gamecocks' favor here. For a power play that will carry over into the second period.
And one thing that will kind of work out in favor a bit for North Carolina is the fact that they do have that period break. You get kind of a free clear, assuming the puck is in the zone when the period ends, and you really only have to kill 2 1-minute power plays.
On the penalty kill, you'd much rather have a power play that goes over a period as a penalty killer. Just mentally, you don't have that full 2 minutes that you're dealing with.
Well, the Gamecocks lost the zone. They'll have to regain it here and try to get set up. 35 seconds left in the period. Up to Riggins at the blue line. Thinks about the slap shot, steps in, takes a wrister. Fought off there by Brown, and the Tar Heels clear it down the ice.
So we're going to see 4 forwards out for the Gamecocks on this power play. And, you know, when you have a short power play, there's a premium on getting that puck in the zone possessed, right? You can't spend a lot of time chasing it, you know, when you have a split power play over 2 periods.
There's another clear for the Tar Heels. That should finish off period number 1. We're down to 5 seconds. Maybe one more push for the Gamecocks, but they are going to run out of time. And that will finish off a scoreless first period. But John, it was a tightly played first period. You could start to see things opening up a little bit more as the period went on and the two teams started to test the goaltenders a little bit.
I think so. I think you could see for UNC they had a couple sequences where they were able to establish possession in the zone, bring the defenseman in, run a little bit of a cycle. You saw Mara rotating down at one point. With the Gamecocks, you saw a lot more 3-on-2 rushes. A lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but a fair amount of dump and chase. A lot of pucks played back behind the UNC net with, you know, the look to get a, you know, a crossing pass into the center of the ice, you know, maybe get somebody coming high slot for a goal.
Oh, and it's also been a pretty physical game as well, but we're going to get down to ice level here in just a moment as head coach Steve Rice of the North Carolina Tar Heels is going to talk with Kendall Smith about how period number 1 has gone. It's been a scoreless period, but still a pretty well played period. So Kendall, what have you got down there with Coach Rice?
Well, Steve, this game is pretty physical, so you've got to balance the composure with the physicality. What's your message to your team on how to do that?
Well, we noticed their physicality last year when we played them, so I think Coach Elaine really pushes that to finish their checks. So puck movement is tough. It's really tough ice out there, so it's kind of choppy and losing control of the puck a little bit. So that puck possession, like getting the puck and really bearing down on getting the pucks out, is going to be something that we have to do. That puck possession is paramount for our success, but we just got to find a way to control that puck a little bit better.
Yeah, and you'll start off the second period on the penalty kill, finishing that off. What's the key to being successful in that regard?
Well, pressure. We got to make sure that when the forwards are pressing out, we just got to make sure that we're not curling away, not doing the soft plays, putting a lot of stops and starts, coming back into position, getting sticks in lanes, trying to break off passes across ice. So, you know, I don't know a lot about their power play. I haven't been able to actually see a lot of it, but for us, it's just committing to defense and you know, making sure they're not taking any chances that are going to end up biting us.
Mention puck possession. What specifically can you tell your team to help them sustain more ozone time?
I think when we're attacking, attack through the middle, get the puck wide when we can, pucks on net. I don't think any shot's a bad shot in this ice. So, we want to make sure that we get pucks on net, and we do. When we're battling down low, we got to have a high man. We're getting three guys down on the goal line, which is not a very effective, because when we do get possession, then we're losing opportunities to find guys in slots. So I think that, and then just a lot of communication. The guys got to talk a lot, understand where the support is going to be down low, and making sure that when we do cycle, that there are guys in good support spots, and that our D are active and very vocal as well.
Great insight, Coach. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Kendall. A lot of good stuff there from head coach Steve Rice as he heads to the locker room to talk with his Tar Heels after a scoreless first period. We're going to step aside and take a quick break. I'll be back with Austin McConnell to talk about the first period after this.
Only ServiceNow connects every corner of your business so people can do all their work on one platform.
No more mindless swivel chairing between platforms.
Or swivel chairing between apps.
No more swivel chairing.
I don't feel so good.
What did he do here again?
Mostly that kind of stuff.
Will you push me back?
No.
Spam. In a taco? Pork favor. Sizzle, pork, and mmm.
Goodbye, Dorothy. Bye, Dodo.
What a touching display. I scare you?
Are you crazy? Come on. Let's go, Greedy.
Rated PG. In theaters November 21st.
When there's a smile in your heart, there's no better time to start. You can fly, you can fly, you can fly.
Believe me, when it comes to investing, you'll love Carl's Way. Take a left here, please.
But there's a...
Carl's Way is the best way.
Is it? At Schwab, how I choose to invest is up to me.
Exactly. I can invest and trade on my own.
Yes, and I let them manage some investments for me, too.
Let's move on, shall we?
No can do.
I'll get out here.
Where are you going?
Schwab.
Schwab, a modern approach to wealth management.
I'm like so starstruck.
I know. He's so much taller in person.
I'm struggling with his proportions.
Yeah, because you're taking too long. You know, one time I filed a claim in under 2 minutes on the Geico app. Little to the right, G? Yeah. If they can work wonders that fast, why can't I? Voila.
Spitting image.
Show off.
What was that?
Get more than just savings. Get more with Geico.
As an official sponsor of the NFL, Jersey Mike's wants you, Eli Manning, to be our new spokesperson.
I'm in. I love Jersey Mike's.
Hold on. Jersey Mike's new spokesperson? You're stealing my job.
I don't want to steal anything.
Lies. Eli's.
I just love these subs.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer. He's very prompt.
Jersey Mike's, a sub...
Hey, that's my line. A sub above.
Cada año, encontramos nuevas formas de celebrar las fiestas.
Nuestra primera Navidad va a ser simple.
Simplemente increíble.
¿Y si la colgamos aquí? Estos la aguantan.
Ya sea tu debut como anfitrión o que seas todo un experto. Haz tu Navidad única con The Home Depot.
After 20 minutes here at Truist Field, it's scoreless between the North Carolina Tar Heels and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Chris Lehman alongside Austin McConnell. And Austin, it felt like a tight start to the period. You could really see the teams get comfortable as things went on.
Yeah, for sure. It was just, I don't know if it was the jitters of being outdoors or what it was, but yeah, both teams just really couldn't handle the puck at the beginning and just kind of was making lousy turnovers on both sides. But what I really saw in that first period was how the ice just kept tilting in different ways. You know, for a couple minutes it would be the Tar Heels with the majority of the possession, then the other couple minutes would be the Gamecocks, and just we're still scoreless. So it's been a tight game so far.
Yeah. Well, you talk about the ice conditions there, too. That was one thing Coach Rice mentioned talking to Kendall just there a few minutes ago, was how the ice is a little choppy. You can see it. John talked about it on the broadcast as well. You can see the puck hopping around. So finding a way to settle the puck down and figuring out how to play with some choppy ice is certainly going to be something that both these teams have to deal with.
Absolutely, and let alone the physicality of this game, too. So not only do they have to deal with where the puck's going, they also got to keep their head on a swivel because they've got guys breathing down their necks every time they're along the boards or even in the open ice. So very physical game to start, but tape-to-tape passes are going to be very important. And then coming out into the second period, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but fresh sheet of ice for the Gamecock power play. This is a big opportunity for them to cash in on some smooth ice.
Yeah, and the longer we go without a goal, the more important that goal becomes, especially when you look at what we have down below us and right here off to our left in the crowd. I think whichever team gets the first goal and gets their crowd into it is really going to have the advantage.
Absolutely. This crowd is, for both sides, have been buzzing tonight, and it's been a great turnout. Just looking out below us, I mean, rows and rows are filled, and behind the net as well. So it's also going to be very difficult for whoever's on this end of the ice as a goalie. They're going to have to hear the heckles from the crowd. But been a great environment so far and pretty solid game as well.
Absolutely. And we're going to take a look specifically at the Gamecocks. We heard a little bit from head coach Steve Rice of the Tar Heels about what he was going to talk to his team about. If you're Coach Sirois for the Gamecocks, what are you telling your team?
Honestly, I really like how they ended that period. I would just tell them to keep playing fast, keep playing physical, because the Tar Heels are not going to let up, so you got to keep pounding them as well. Got to really hone in on this power play to start the second period. It's going to be a very big opportunity for them to crack open the scoring, because like you said, that first goal could be a big one.
Well, there aren't a whole lot of highlights from a scoreless first period, but we're going to take a look at what happened in period number 1 as I'll be joined by John Johnson after this.
Imagine a place where each one of us can leave a heel print on the world around us, where the success of the team starts with you. That's Carolina. Imagine your heel print.
What's he so excited about?
He just heard about Gladwell Orthodontics Invisalign Night.
Woo! Yeah! Woo! Invisalign what?
Invisalign Night, the only night where new customers can save over $1,100 on Invisalign treatment.
And great prizes!
And they're giving away some pretty sweet prizes like free Thanksgiving dinner.
That sounds awesome!
Come join us November 5th and 6th for the Gladwell Orthodontics Invisalign Night at our Raleigh and Wake Forest locations.
Gladwell!
The orthodontist that mouths are talking about.
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
Here at the University of South Carolina, I didn't have to choose between playing D1 ball and law school. You know, ever since I came here, my world just started expanding. They put me on this hallway with a bunch of doors, and then every door could be an opportunity. It's been a whole community of people who helped me transform my competitiveness on the court to doing meaningful work. I came here as a competitor. I left more certain of who I am and the impact I want to make.
Hey everybody, I'm out here at our ice rink at Truist Field, but I want to remind you that this rink won't be here in just a few months. It'll be time for baseball season. The Charlotte Knights season is quickly approaching, and tickets are going on sale soon. Tickets will be on sale soon for our opening night, Friday, March 27th. The Charlotte Knights taking on the Durham Bulls, and for the rest of the season. So head over to charlotteknights.com. Stay on the lookout over there. We can't wait to welcome you all back to the ballpark.
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
Chris Lehman back alongside John Johnson here at Truist Field in Uptown Charlotte after a scoreless first period between the Tar Heels and the Gamecocks. And JJ, a lot of physicality and not a whole lot for the goaltenders to do, but they were on it when they needed to be.
They were. So we saw a lot of shots. I think the tally was probably 13 to 15, but not a lot of high-quality scoring chances. What we noted were a couple things. Coach Rice pointed that out at the end of the period. The ice is bad for a puck possession type game. We saw a lot of rolling pucks, right? The condition of the ice makes those smooth, crisp passes that you might see on a stretch pass more difficult to make. What we were also seeing is battles down behind the net, but oftentimes both teams had all three of their forwards behind the net. So a lot of physicality behind the net, but when all three forwards are down behind there, guess what? There's only two defensemen up top who can potentially score. So I think both coaches would like to have maybe one or two forwards down low, another forward in the high slot area, or providing some support, a potential scoring outlet for those behind the net battles. But we're also seeing that physicality against some of the top players. We saw it with Riggins, right? UNC really taking the body to Riggins on a couple of the shifts, trying to make his life a little more difficult. Riggins, to his credit, drew a nice tripping penalty there at the end of the period, and we're going to see the Gamecocks come out and try to capitalize on the second half of that power play.
We talked about that a little bit with Austin. As you bring it up, I want to talk about it a little bit more from a Tar Heel perspective. You catch a little bit of a break if you're the Tar Heels, at least in the timing of the penalty, as you really kind of get it split in half, essentially. But it is going to be important, as I talked about with Austin, the later we go in a scoreless game, the more important that goal becomes. And right now, it's the Gamecocks who have the opportunity.
That's right. Every goal, obviously, is significant once you only have 2 periods left and you're in a 0-0 game. So the first goal is critical. That split power play works to the advantage of the defenders in this way, right? It puts a premium on the offensive team, the Gamecocks, in controlling the puck, and we know that's difficult because of the ice conditions, and coming in the zone, not chasing it, right? You need to get that power play set up, you need a clean entry into the zone, and then you need to start creating scoring opportunity and movement. So they're gonna have about 45 or 50 seconds, but it's all gonna be keyed off of a good, clean entry into the zone, which will be a challenge.
Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge regardless. You could put these two teams on a rink inside, and I think it would still be a challenging contest regardless of the ice conditions. We're going to take another quick break here on the first intermission. When we come back, JJ and I will take a look ahead at the second period and what to expect out of these two teams as they try to break a scoreless tie. Tar Heels and Gamecocks. Second period coming up shortly.
Spam. Don't knock it till you've fried it. Sizzle, pork, and mmm.
I've heard it said. Are you all right? Look at me.
Not with your eyes.
With theirs.
Rated PG.
The Disney Resorts Collection is the most magical place to stay at the most magical place on Earth. Here, the magic is up early, giving you extra time in any of the 4 theme parks every day, and welcoming you back with even more magical moments. Spring into magic and save up to 25% on rooms at select Disney Resort hotels. Why would you stay anywhere else?
Cada año, encontramos nuevas formas de celebrar las fiestas.
Nuestra primera Navidad va a ser simple.
Simplemente increíble.
¿Y si la colgamos aquí?
Estos la aguantan.
Ya sea tu debut como anfitrión o que seas todo un experto. Haz tu Navidad única con The Home Depot.
Curiosity is a question at the edge of every thought.
What's that called, Mom?
Vitiligo.
I think I did pretty good. That's so cool.
With vitiligo, curiosity asks,
So if your color can go away, can it ever come back?
curiosity is calling. Will you answer? Discover what's possible at vitiligo.com.
3 ice-cold Jägermeister shots, please. Those look warm.
Serve it cold or don't serve it at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold.
Taking a little brain vacay to Japan? It's the dream. Why don't you stop dreaming and go?
My budget's more instant ramen than sashimi these days.
Use Priceline. They've got millions of hotel and flight deals on the menu. Have you tried the 60% off? It's super fresh.
Japan, here I come. Arigato.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
All the drama.
All the analysis.
Closing in on the start of period number 2 here at Truist Field as North Carolina and South Carolina face off as part of the 7:04 outdoor face-off. Chris Lehman, John Johnson with you. And JJ, as we start to take a look ahead at the second period, we've talked a good amount about that power play coming up, but I want to talk about after the power play. There's about a minute left on it. For South Carolina, their ideal situation is score and go from there, but if you're the Gamecocks, how do you continue to establish yourself if you don't score?
I think the Gamecocks and really the Tar Heels are both going to focus on the same thing. With the ice conditions the way it is, I would focus on short, crisp passes on the breakout. We know passing is a little more difficult because of the way pucks are bouncing. So the shorter the passes, the better. You'll also want to carry more. So if you're having difficulty passing because of ice conditions, put that puck in your good puck handler's hands, right? Carry that puck up the ice. And then the third thing is patience. Once you enter the zone, oftentimes people want to rush that shot. Like, we haven't scored, it's 0-0, we need to score that goal. But be a little patient. Get yourself established. Maybe go wide, right? Wait for your support to come in. Wait for the defenders to establish at the blue line, right? Get all 5 of your teammates involved, right? And really create a cycle and create some sustained puck pressure and possession in the zone. So I think both teams will be focused on that and try to create a little more tempo to their game through those techniques.
Well, and as you look at the Tar Heels, too, more specifically, what I want to think about is what they do if they give up a goal. You're going to have to find a way back into it. They are technically the home team in this game, although there are plenty of Gamecock fans here. What do you tell your team, or what do you do if you're Coach Rice and you fall behind with a power play goal?
Well, first of all, you want to just keep projecting an arrow of calm, right? One goal is not insurmountable. It's pretty unrealistic to go through a game and think you're going to pitch a shutout against a team like the Gamecocks with the offensive talent they have. So you want to just keep sticking with your system. You want to keep talking positively to your top players like Cobber and O'Shaughnessy, right? So that potentially they get out there and ignite that spark for your team and get a game-tying goal. But really, you want to just keep sticking with your system. There's no need to panic. You've been in this type of situation before. For the past month and a half, you have played very close 1-goal, 2-goal games.
Well, they're ready to take the ice. We're going to take one more quick break. We'll be back with Puck Drop after this.
What's he so excited about?
He just heard about Gladwell Orthodontics Invisalign Night.
Woo! Yeah, woo! Invisalign what?
Invisalign Night, the only night where new customers can save over $1,100 on Invisalign treatment.
And great prizes!
And they're giving away some pretty sweet prizes like free Thanksgiving dinner.
That sounds awesome!
Come join us November 5th and 6th for the Gladwell Orthodontics Invisalign Night at our Raleigh and Wake Forest locations.
Gladwell!
The orthodontist that mouths are talking about.
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
Welcome back for the start of the second period here at Truist Field between the Tar Heels and the Gamecocks. I'm Austin McConnell alongside John Johnson. I want to thank you for tuning in on ESPN Plus here tonight. John, we just did kind of our brief recap of that first period. What are you looking for here in the second?
Well, I think you'll see some adjustments. I know both coaches are going to be talking to their teams about more sustained zone time. So, Chris and I were talking with ice conditions that make passing problematic because of bouncing pucks. You want to make those passes a little shorter on your breakout, right? You want to have a little more carry through the neutral zone. So instead of maybe stretch passes, put the puck in your top stick handler's hands and let them carry that puck in. And then third, once you're in the zone, I would say resist the urge for a quick shot. I know coaches often say, hey, all shots are good shots, and that's true. But take what's given to you. Allow your team to set up. Allow the other 4 players to come into the zone, establish themselves, get your defensemen involved. We have some top scoring defensemen on both teams, right? They can really contribute. Kai Bonsukin on the Gamecocks comes in with 3 goals, and Will Hilton on the Carolina has 4 goals. So, get those guys involved too from an offensive perspective. And then finally focus on eliminating turnovers, right? With the ice and poor conditions like this, oftentimes, your first goal is going to come off a fluky bounce. We saw a couple opportunities like that in the first period from just weird bounces to back in the corners or behind the net.
Absolutely, and we're getting ready to start this second period here. Another couple guys we mentioned pregame that we haven't really talked much about tonight is Colin Reed and John Riggins. A couple Gamecocks who have been very successful this season, just haven't been able to really keep the puck on their stick tonight or make anything happen. We've seen a lot of shots on goals from both sides, but quality shots on goals, kind of what we're looking for, and we haven't seen much of that. So going to be interesting to see how Lucas Brown for the Tar Heels and Tyler Tamoyan for the Gamecocks adjust in net. Gamecocks will have the man advantage that rolled over from the first period here to start the second.
It's going to be important for the Gamecocks to enter that zone with possession, right? They only have about 50 seconds to work here on the power play. They want a good, clean entry so they're not wasting time chasing down pucks.
I'm talking about that rough ice out there. You want to use the smooth ice as long as you can.
Exactly. This ice will get worse, obviously, as the period goes on, so this is probably the best it's going to be as we start off here.
Pushkar takes a big shoulder check, throws it into the zone. Gamecocks looking for their first real opportunity here. We saw a couple from both teams in the first period, but neither capitalized. And a weird bounce off the stanchion there gives the Tar Heels a chance to clear the puck.
Good breather, about 20 seconds left on the power play, so probably enough time for one more sustained rush into the zone with this top unit.
Here's John Riggins, near side, half wall, slams on the brakes, throws it across ice. Sends it down low, backhand spinning, and they score!
Wonderful puck movement. That all starts with Riggins on the near wall. Makes a good cross-ice pass to the top of the key to the defenseman, who then works it down low, and then we get a tic-tac goal.
Jake Pushkar had a campfire built on that side of the goal, and good puck movement gives the Gamecocks the 1-0 lead here just 57 seconds into the second period.
You see Pushkar, camping out over at that far post. It's a bit challenging for the Carolina defenseman, right? You're outnumbered. You're trying to pick up man, but also play a little bit of his own concept there. And Pushkar gets that clean, crisp pass right across the goal and is able to put that one in. Wonderful puck movement by the Gamecocks on that power play. Really had 20 seconds to come in and establish themselves. It all started off with Riggins down there on that near wall.
They took the blunt of it too, getting body checked into the boards down here on the near side half wall where the puck currently is.
That's a penalty price I'm sure he's willing to pay.
Yep. So Riggins picks up his 4th assist of the season. Or excuse me, 9th assist of the season. And Pushkar picks up his 5th goal. So after a kind of quiet first period between the two teams, it's a 1-0 game.
And you mentioned at the outset, the ice is good, right? We just got an ice cut. Zamboni was out, so good crisp ice. And we saw that with that cross-ice pass by Riggins.
Now here's the Tar Heels with an odd man rush the other way. Delayed high stick coming up. And they're going to blow the play dead. Kind of a 2-on-1, kind of developed into a 3-on-1 there at the end, just too high of a saucer pass.
It did. I think it was Marvin who went down on his stomach. Actually, a very nice move. You want to take away that pass. And a little saucer pass did come over. There was a scoring opportunity on it, but it looks like that's going to result in the penalty here to the Gamecocks.
Yeah, Matt Grady tried to saucer it over Marvin.
I think that's Kai Bonsukin going to the box.
the sophomore from Plano, Texas. So we saw the Gamecocks cash in on their first power play opportunity. And the Tar Heels with still pretty clean sheet of ice here early in the second, looking to capitalize and tie this game back up.
And, we can expect to see, the top scorers really for Carolina, are Will Smith, Patrick O'Shaughnessy, and Daniel Cobber. And we're going to expect a fair amount of them out here on the ice on this power play.
Faceoff is won by the Tar Heels. They'll set up shop. Puck comes over to Will Hilton. O'Shaughnessy lost control of the puck in the Gamecocks. Short-handed here. Here's Finelli entering the zone. He's got Reed with him. Tries to backhand one towards the Reed, and that one goes off of Brown.
A great short-handed opportunity. He's able to get a little deflected puck up into the goalie's stomach there.
So the Tar Heels will take a deep breath and re-enter the zone. Thrown around the boards by Hilton.
Hilton comes into the game with 4 goals and has the ability to put that puck in the net. Very good offensive contributor for the Heels.
Lively bounce off the end boards there. Tar Heels maintain possession in the Gamecock zone. Back to the point. Here's Hilton. Gives it back to O'Shaughnessy. They've been playing catch this power play. Good puck movement there. Shot scores! Will Hilton.
We were just talking about Will, yes. So there's Will. You saw that offensive prowess, right? Good puck movement. He gets that shot right at the top of the slot and is able to bury it.
The senior from Pittsboro, North Carolina, picks up his 5th goal and 5th point on the year. And we're just like that, tied up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, we saw Will Smith, who's another key contributor on offense. He comes into the game with 4 goals and 7 assists. That's his 8th assist down there behind the net. Manages to see his fellow named Will up top and able to get him that pass and a resulting great goal. So a good equalizer, good response. We talked at the intermission about what happens, if South Carolina scores, what do you need to do as UNC? And, really you want to stick with your game, right? Neither of these teams realistically was think they're going to throw a shutout. And so, the key is not to panic, just stick to what you're doing and, make your necessary adjustments, obviously, based off of what you saw in the first period.
Yeah, so after a slow start to the first period for both squads, we now see 2 early goals, one from each side, and it's 1-1. Faceoff was won by the Tar Heels in the Gamecock zone, but has since been cleared out. And on the forecheck for Carolina, delayed offsides. South Carolina, that is. Now back through center. Here's Manser. He dumps it in.
We're getting icing there.
Yep, icing. I was a little unsure what the call was there at first.
Yeah, I think he was just on this side of the red line when he made that dump. And so did not get the benefit of the doubt on that one. They called icing.
So we'll get a face-off stick hand side of Lucas Brown. Quick tie-up along the boards there. Finelli will win possession for the Gamecocks. Pushkar will go chase after it on the far side. Finelli comes in to aid, and another weird bounce off the boards. Comes out of the zone, and the Gamecocks will re-tag up.
We've seen a couple odd bounces like that, back behind the net. And something like that could easily turn into a premium scoring chance.
Bouncing puck comes into the Gamecock zone. No icing there. Archisi clears the zone for the Gamecocks. Now in the neutral zone, it's Pushkar again with it. Very close to being offsides, and they were. Finelli got caught lacking.
Yeah, Finelli just couldn't get back on sides in time as the Gamecocks were looking to enter into the zone.
I don't think he really realized that Pushkar had possession of the puck and was looking to enter.
He was doubling back. I don't think it was really, it was difficult for him to look over and see.
Right.
It was a bang-bang type.
Face off in the neutral zone, won by the Gamecocks. Brown steers that one aside. Another live bounce off the end boards like you were talking about. Now the Tar Heels will go back the other way. Nice move through center, but he couldn't keep puck on stick was Ma.
Potential odd man rush here.
Now shot there from the Gamecocks. Rebound opportunity, but cleared out by the Tar Heels defense.
Juicy rebound there sitting at the front, but as you said, cleared out by the defenseman. Very sound play. Got it down to the end of the ice.
Brown got his pad on it. Kept it out for a brief moment, but here's another chance for the Gamecocks here. Another odd man rush opportunity, and they score! Carson Scove kind of bats it out of midair and makes it 2-1 Gamecocks.
So the Gamecocks were able to create a little mini 3-on-2 there, and then with a nice quick pass from the top of the slot down low, able to create a 2-on-1 right in front of the net. And Carson Scove, beneficiary of another nice cross-ice pass in front of the goalie.
Yeah, puck was kind of bouncing. He kind of fanned on it at first. And as it was kind of bouncing on that far side of Brown, just gets another opportunity and takes advantage, scoring his.
Well, that mini 2-on-1 meant that he had extra time to really, reconnect that with that puck and get another good scoring chance, which he was able to put in the back of the net.
8th goal of the season for the senior Carson Scove. And the Gamecocks take a 2-1 lead. Traffic in front there from a shot from the point by Smith. And head coach for the Gamecocks, Sirois, irate at the officials. Gonna have to take a look at what happened there.
I didn't see it, but he's down on the ice in some serious pain.
That's John Riggins for the Gamecocks.
Well, we hate to see that. We were talking about the physicality and some of the body that they were giving to Riggins, but you don't want to see anybody injured out there on the ice.
So Gamecock bench was very vocal, looking for a penalty. I didn't see any officials with their hands raised, so it doesn't look like we're going to get one.
No, the officials are huddled, but I don't think there will be a penalty on this call.
Riggins has his helmet off now. Kind of getting looked at his lower body here.
Trainer's over. Sometimes if you take a knee-on-knee hit, there's no give in your skate. It can be enormously painful. Your foot and leg basically just plant in the ice. So we don't want to speculate too much, but they're down looking at the lower area. Sometimes that's, something that can happen.
Trying to sit him up now. Kind of lift him up. He's going to be helped off by a couple Gamecock teammates. And we'll head to the locker room. Yeah, really unfortunate to see. Good player as well, senior from New York. Just broke the program's all-time scoring record just a couple games ago at home in Columbia.
Well, that's a real shame. You want your top players out here just from a fan perspective. People show up. They want to see Riggins playing. We all do. It's pretty clear. It looks like he's favoring his right knee. So he might have got a knee-on-knee hit. I don't see a replay, but like I said, you don't really have any flexibility at all if you come across and get tagged in your knee.
Yeah, he's still leaning over the rail, clearly in a lot of pain.
So if you're the Gamecocks, obviously this is something that, as a coach, you have to plan for, your contingency planning, what happens if, your top center goes down, who's going to step into that role, how do you reshuffle the lines? And so, an injury of this size is significant because it potentially makes you have to, reshuffle all of your lines as you move people up and down to try to balance out the strengths and weaknesses of your lines to try to fill the gap that he leaves.
So as he continues to get helped off, kind of walking on it a little bit more now, trying to put as minimal pressure on it as he can.
Well, that's promising. At least let's see here as he comes up.
Oh,
yeah.
It's called it right at knee on knee.
Knee on knee. They didn't call anything. You can get called for that if it looks like it's intentional. The refs probably said it was incidental.
Yeah.
But when you have your body weight on that skate, your skate goes well side to side, but it does not go back, and so you're basically locked in fully, and it's an awful feeling having had it happen as a player.
So the officials were huddled up for a minute. They were talking to the captains of both teams.
Hopefully for the Cox, it's not a serious injury. Those injuries can just range from something that's basically, a sprain where, you'll miss the game and have a couple days of soreness, and then hopefully he's back contributing at the next game.
So we're about to get back underway after that quick injury timeout there at center ice. 14:53 to go. 2-1 the Gamecocks lead after all three goals have come here in this middle frame. We're going to have a face-off at center ice.
And I think, for both teams, it's a challenge. For the Gamecocks, it's a challenge because Riggins is obviously, he's the undisputed leader of that team. And when your leader goes down, one of two things can happen. You can be very dispiriting because you look to that guy to lead the tempo, to lead scoring. or it could be a motivational moment for you as a teammate, and for UNC, probably a lot of your game plan coming in, to the extent that you were game planning for specific individuals, focused on Riggins, and now he's not here, and now you need to go to more of a system-based plan, right? Because you're going to see lines that look different probably from what you anticipated. So both teams are going to be making adjustments here as he leaves.
Face off to the left, Tyler Tamoyan. And it's won by the Tar Heels. Quick shot off the draw and a glove save by Tamoyan.
Tamoyan does a nice job squaring up on that shot coming out, extending his glove outward and making a good save.
That shot was humming off the stick of Drew Smith. A good wrister from the point. This time a tie up at the draw. Tar Heels one possession, but couldn't keep it in the zone. It's going to take another weird bounce off the stanchion. We've seen a couple weird bounces tonight. And now the Gamecocks take it back to the neutral zone. There's George Clavin. Clavin getting physical. The Gringa sends it around. Gamecocks will keep it in the zone for just a brief moment. Puck sent towards the net, no Gamecock there in front. Now it's sent the length of the ice. Winning the battle is Zukowski for the Tar Heels. Now it looks like we're going to get a penalty on the Tar Heels.
They waved off the icing, but it looks like we're getting a penalty call of some sort here. High stick, potentially?
Looks like Zukowski elbows Von Sukin. It looks like we're going to get another Gamecock power play here. As, Zukowski heads to the box.
Well, if you're the Heels, that's not what you wanted to do after Riggins goes off. You want to get back into your system here, not give up another power play, because obviously we saw how productive that power play was the first time he was out there.
So face off in the Tar Heel zone this time. Gamecocks win possession. Here is Bonsukin towing the line, sends it across to Marchese. Or excuse me, Scove. He got on the score sheet here tonight. Cross ice pass. Back up top to Bonsukin. Bonsukin lets one rip. That goes off a body in front. Tar Heels attempting to clear the zone, unable to do so. Across to Scove it comes, back to Bonsukin. He's hounded by the Tar Heels special teams defense.
Great puck movement by the Gamecocks here on the power play.
Puck comes behind Brown. And the Tar Heels look to clear it. A big bounce there. Pushkar tries to deke his way to the goal, cannot finish the job.
Really phenomenal hand-eye coordination. Just batted that puck down, and Pushkar was able to get it, come in with a high-quality scoring chance.
Bonsukin sends one towards the net, and Brown holds on to it. So a couple looks there from the Gamecocks, but yeah, like you said, Carson Scove, I believe that was, knocks it down. Great play there. And then Pushkar just tries to get it around the pad, couldn't keep tape on puck.
Yeah, really an amazing play by Scove to keep that in. Create a really nice scoring chance. Looks like the Gamecocks have their second unit in.
The first unit is 4 forwards and a defenseman. This one's usually 3 forwards and 2 defensemen, as we see now. Riccitelli out there,
right, and
including
Dumphy.
Aiden Dumphy. Tie up along the far side wall, and then it's cleared the length of the ice. Under 45 seconds to go on this Tar Heel penalty kill.
That's pretty normal nowadays. You see a lot of teams at the pro and collegiate level using 4 forwards, 1 defenseman for their top unit, and then go into a more traditional 3 forward, 2 defenseman setup for their second unit.
Puck gets poked at, bouncing around. A couple players couldn't find it, but eventually the Tar Heels gain possession and will clear it the length of the ice as we approach 15 seconds on the Gamecock man advantage.
With those 4 forwards out, you generate more offense, right? You put more high skill scorers out there. And then, they basically, work probably 2/3 of that power play, and then you bring in your second unit that's going to transition into even strength, and that's generally why you see 2 defensemen out there.
So final 7 seconds. Zukowski set to get out of the box. We're going to have a face-off in the neutral zone as that puck went over the benches and out of play. Face-off won by the Gamecocks. One final quick push here. They methodically enter the zone. Nice move by Dumphy there. Takes a shot off the skate of Baxter. Got on net, and Brown had to steer it aside with the pads. Back to even strength now. Tajin in front. Got his stick lifted. And it's cleared by Gringa.
Nice bounce pass by Gringa.
Yeah.
Forward.
Business decision there from Riccitelli to play it off the boards. Gamecocks do eventually clear. Here's Tajin. He's got Van Mullen to go with him. Try to give it to him, but he was tied up with the Tar Heel defense.
On that breakout, we saw some nice, crisp passes, short passes by the Gamecocks who were able to easily enter the zone.
Fresh out of the box, Zukowski sends it across to his defensive pair. Now a couple turnovers from either squad, and that puck kind of hit where the door opens up down there in the far corner. Took another weird bounce. The Tar Heels regain possession until they turn it over to Carson Stickley. Cross-ice pass.
And one thing both teams need to be aware of, you're in the second period, you've got the long ice, which means you've got a longer way to go for shifts, so you want to make sure your shifts are sound and you're not giving up any odd man rushes as a result of the shift.
Backhanded out by Zukowski. And now kind of a small 2-on-1 developing the other way. Nothing doing as that puck was turned over by Evan Gutman. First time we've called his name tonight. Nice move through center. Good stand-up by Marchese. Now the puck comes behind Tamoyan on the Gamecock side.
Both teams in the first period had a tendency to have too many forwards down below the net, and I think we're seeing that corrected this period.
Quick line change from both squads. Puck goes the length of the ice, and Tamoyan's actually going to fall on it. We've got some fireworks here.
I think that's Goodman, just decided to mix it up for the heck of it. Didn't see anything that really precipitated it other than he was next to the goalie.
Now let's throw it on down to Kendall Smith for an update here mid-second period. Kendall? Thanks, Kendall. Yeah, very loud. We could hear it through the headset and over your mic on that last stoppage. A couple fireworks there at the end, and now a great opportunity here for Clavin. And that goes off the pad of Brown.
It's a nice backhand.
Follow-up opportunity, and it's kept out. Sorry, John, what were you saying?
Oh, he had a nice backhand opportunity, and then there was a wide open net there.
There's Cobber.
Lucas Brown able to get back over and make that save.
Cobber had a chance there as well. And now play out in front kind of just trickles wide. Couldn't get too much on that. Was the Tar Heels offense. They're starting to threaten here a little bit more now in the second, though.
Yeah, we see some good puck movement. Shaughnessy and Smith on this line really can generate a lot of offense.
So a couple line changes from both squads. Tar Heels trying to catch the Gamecocks sleeping. Good cross-ice pass, just goes wide of the net. Juicy rebound off the end wall. And unable to finish that one was Ansbacher.
Ansbacher got a nice feed, nice shot, just wasn't able to put that squarely on net.
Gamecocks turn it over again. Tar Heels enter the zone once more. Trying to throw that one to the net. Hit a couple skates. A couple opportunities there from the Tar Heels as they trail the Gamecocks by one. Here's another one kept in by Sangster. Sangster centers one out front off a skate. Quick follow-up opportunity, and Tamoyan hangs on.
Yeah, Tamoyan came out to the top of the key there. I'm not sure he quite exactly saw it. It ended up in between his pads, but good save. But the last minute here has been a really good sustained pressure by the Tar Heel squad.
Absolutely, and they're going to get a full sail line change here as we have a face-off to the glove hand side of Tamoyan. 2-1, 8:31 to go here in the second period from Truist Field, the 7:04 outdoor face-off. The second of 3 games this weekend and then 3 more next weekend.
It's a really great opportunity for these young men, to be able to play out here in front of all these fans And for, a lot of these players, are from out of state. You have people coming from Massachusetts. We have an international player. This might be the only opportunity or one of the few opportunities that their families come down and get to see them play in person. So a really special time for these guys.
Yeah, we asked the coaches what kind of the message was in the locker room here. Is now a big opportunity for the Gamecocks. 4-on-1 the other way. Shot save made by Brown. And then a big hit after the play. Owen Noonan had a 4-on-1 and took the shot. A couple of his teammates weren't too happy that he wasn't at least looking for an extra pass.
You would like to have seen him make that pass. You get numbers like that, really you want to make that pass.
Yeah, Finelli and Tommy Marvin kind of just throw their hands up there.
Right, because, the UNC defenseman goes down on his stomach basically to try to take away that pass, but at that point, it's 4-on-0. If you pull up and stop, that guy's down on his stomach. He is not skating, so you have the whole ice to work with. You've got plenty of, angles that you can get really high-quality scoring opportunities if you can just make that pass.
Face-off comes to the point. Gamecocks shot there again, saved by Brown. But kind of going back to what coaches were saying, this week and also today, we asked them kind of what's your message been this week with these kids and the experience, and they've both kind of gave the same answers, saying we want them to enjoy the experience, but at the same time, we've got a game to win. And that's what we're here to do. Yeah,
I think it's a balance for every coach. You look at the Gamecock team, right? Half of the roster turned over. So for half of these players, this is, maybe the first time they played an outdoor game, ever, but certainly in their collegiate career. So they're coming in. It's a very special opportunity. It's just different playing outside, compared to playing inside a rink. The feel is different. And your energy level is certainly much higher, playing in a stadium like this.
Puck comes out to the neutral zone where it's scooped up by Ma. He'll throw it in and get a line change. Aiden Dunphy now skating away and unable to clear the puck. He ran into Kadesh. A couple more line changes from the Tar Heels. Aiden Dunphy again with the puck, this time through the neutral zone, picking up some speed. Along the near side half wall, tried to drop it back and went off the skate of Ma.
Kept in the zone.
Kept in the zone by the Gamecocks here. Thrown on net, rebound opportunity, stuffed by Brown. Brown kind of falls over in the crease, gets back up. Gamecocks continuing pressure. Brown's gonna hold on to this one and get a stoppage.
Nice sequence there by the Gamecocks, coming into the zone, being patient with the puck, able to keep it back in, when it was possibly going to, exit the zone and get another scoring chance. Getting everybody involved, right? The defensemen, all your forwards. Even if you don't score, when you get everybody involved like that, you start to create a little bit of a chase system, where the other team's chasing you. And that can be really tiring. And as that game goes on, fatigue will be a factor.
Face-off tied up to the left of Brown. Cross it comes to Marchese. He sent that one. Might have been blocked off the stick of Ansbacher. Now tie up on the far wall. Tar Heels will clear the zone. Starting to see the puck bounce around a little bit more as the ice gets worn down late here in the second. Marchese with some nice moves. Ran into a couple different Tar Heel defensemen. Lost it. Tar Heels turning back over, and the Gamecocks will dump and chase.
Yeah, we saw Hilton delivering 2 checks, at both ends of the ice there.
Battle for it right in front of the Gamecock bench. Still in the Tar Heel zone. It's kept in for a brief moment, but turned back over. And flipped up out of the zone. Puck bouncing around between the two teams right now. Back to get it is Marchese. Kind of having trouble with it along the wall there. Trying to evade pressure. Turns it over in the process. Big opportunity off the skate of the Gamecock defenseman. Well, they clear the zone.
Really liked how the Gamecocks have responded since the Riggins injury, right? They haven't let that affect them from a tempo point of view. They kept their energy up, and they're still generating really good scoring chances.
Here's George Clavin flying around the zone while his team gets a change. Now they'll come try and aid him. Puck's going to come out to Bon Sukin. And he's going to turn it back over to the Tar Heels. He'll go back the other way.
And that's credit not only to player, but to the coaches. The coaches, a lot of people don't realize, have to go through a fair amount of adjustment there when your top player goes out of the lineup unexpectedly.
Puck sent across. thrown back across. Kind of tied up there was Gringa, and it looked like Clavin. Now behind the net. Circling, shooting, and scoring! Nick Gringa ties this one back up at 2.
Gringa showing a lot of patience there. I believe it's Mansour's creeping in through the high slot, right? And everybody keys off of him. I'm not expecting that Gringa's going to take that shot. And Gringa takes that shot, and then I think is able to creep that in near side potentially.
Yeah, near side. Just the patience he has to circle the zone there. And fire it at Tamoy, and I don't think Tamoy was kind of ready for it.
No, I don't think so.
Very quick release.
I think the entire Gamecock team was keying in on the fact that Mansour was creeping in high slot, right? The high probability scoring area. And we're really looking to take away that pass and probably was not expecting a shot of that nature.
So 2-2 with 4.5 minutes to go here in the second period. So after no goals scored in the first, kind of a slower start, we've now seen 4 goals and the offense coming alive for both teams here in the second.
And I believe that's Nick Gringa's first goal of the season.
And now a chance for the Gamecocks to answer, and they might have rung the post there. Another turnover sent towards the cage. Good deflection in front. Here is Pushkar. He's been all over the ice. Centered out in front, and they score! Owen Noonan! Just like that, the Gamecocks go back on top. And it's 3-2 late in the second.
A really great response, and we saw in many ways kind of a mirror image of what we saw at the other end of the ice, right? A forward down low behind the net, looking for someone in the slot, create an opportunity. Good feed pass. He's camped out. Noonan's camped out right in front of the net. He's able to get that pass and take it home. You know, for the Tar Heels, you need a little bit better net front presence, right? As a defenseman, you want to tie up that stick or push him out of the way, right? Something that takes away that ability to put that puck on net if he gets that pass. A little bit of a defensive zone breakdown there by the defense.
So Noonan took that shot on the 4-on-1, kind of makes it up to his team there by burying this one. And once again, the Gamecocks now have a 1-goal lead. Very quick answer.
I'm sure his teammates will still give him a little bit of grief in the locker room after this is over, but it certainly does make up for a little bit when he buries that.
Offsides here. We'll have a face-off in the neutral zone.
Well, after a very disjointed first period that saw a lot of shots but not many quality scoring chances, we're seeing a really up-tempo second period here with high-quality scoring chances, good saves by both goalies, and really, really nice goals.
Weird bounce there to Brown. Had to kind of play it off his skate. Aiden Dunphy on the forecheck. Gamecocks trying to keep it in the zone there, unable to do so. They'll tag up. Now Tommy Marvin will dump it in. Brown will play it from behind his goal. Backhands one to Smith, who looks to go cross ice and clear the zone. Dancing with the puck now is Scove. He sends it across to Marvin. Marvin's going to enter the zone on the left-hand side of your screen. Tie up for it. Puck bouncing around a little bit more and more as we continue towards the end of the second period. Somehow staying all the way on his feet was Smith there. I couldn't believe he stayed on his feet as long as he did. And now back the other way, a 3-on-2 developing for the Gamecocks. Quick shot there from Taj, and that one just went wide. Brown might have gotten a piece of it. But here come the Tar Heels back the other way. Zukowski.
Nice hit at the boards to take the puck carrier off the puck.
That was Marchese laying the hit on Zukowski. Now he's going to take one of his own. Pass a little too tall. It's going to leave the zone. The Tar Heels will now have to tag up. Zukowski tries to dump it in. Might have either hit the official or Marchese. Either way, the Gamecocks get possession. We'll head back the other way. Here's Carson Stickley. Fans on that one. Now sends it behind the net.
If you're the Tar Heels in the final 2 minutes, first of all, you want to shore up defensively, right? You don't want to give up anything to go down 2 coming into the period, and really just play a little more. Get back to your fundamentals here.
Winkleblack almost had a beautiful tip and redirection in front. Brown with a nice save there. Tar Heels, like you said, one final push with 1.5 minutes to go in the second period.
Good pass to the center of the net, broken up there by the Gamecock defensive.
Tie up along the boards. Gamecocks win possession, will clear the zone. Here comes Colin Reed for the Gamecocks. Try to drop it to his man, Matt Baxter. Unable to do so. And it will be icing the other way.
He went for the drop pass just a little bit too far, wasn't able to connect. So I think from both teams, you know, we've seen nice responses, right? One team scored, the other one comes back, immediately scores. As a coach, that can be frustrating because you think, you know, okay, you don't want to let down right after you've scored. You want to hold on to that lead, and then, you know, within the next shift, obviously you give up a goal. You know, from a player perspective, you know, the momentum, you know, it rapidly changes from an emotional point of view. You feel like, okay, you're tied, you're back in it, and then immediately you're back down a goal again. So good responses by both teams. It'll be interesting to see how they, you know, psychologically how that plays into it in the third period as, you know, time gets short.
Puck flipped into the Gamecock zone, push car, palms it, and then takes a big hit along the boards. And we might get a boarding call here as the official has his hand in the air. And Newnham showing his displeasure with Zukowski. Looks like Zukowski's going to pick up his second penalty of the evening.
Well, just like we're talking, this is exactly what the Tar Heels don't want, right? You know, you wanted to finish off that 2 minutes, you know, just go into the period, hey, 1 goal down, right? Play fundamentally sound, maybe even get a goal to tie it up. But what you don't want to do is give up a really high-scoring chance. We saw the exact same thing to end the first period, right? A split power play. You know, it works, I think, personally in the favor of the defense because it puts a premium on the offense to get established in the zone quickly and to generate goals. But we saw at the beginning of the second period that the Gamecocks perfectly have the ability to do that. They got into the zone quickly with 20 seconds and were able to capitalize with good puck movement and score a goal.
Weird bounce allows the Tar Heels to clear it to start this penalty kill. Going back to get it is Bonsukin. He's going to quarterback this breakout. Moves it across. And now sent in by Marvin. Colin Reed has it, tries to throw it down low. 4 Gamecocks on this side of the ice against the wall. Now a great opportunity there, shot just wide by Scove, who's got a goal in the second period.
Able to keep it in, and that'll probably wind up the power play for this period.
Final 10 seconds ticking off, and a turnover behind the net. One final opportunity for the Tar Heels. Shot, save made by Tamoyan. 2 seconds left, it's swatted at, and nothing doing.
I spoke too soon. A weird bounce and a good scoring opportunity.
And so more fireworks after the horn here. This game has gotten chippy here in the second. So wow, 3-2 offense comes alive here in the second period, John. Well, what did you like out of both teams here in that middle frame?
I liked the tempo out of both teams. I thought, especially early in the period when we saw the good ice, right? We were able to see some crisper passing. We were able to see teams get established in the zones, create traffic in front, right? We saw a power play goal, you know, to start off the period. Good passing started off by Riggins, then working the puck down low. All 3 of the Gamecocks goals really are, you know, point-blank shots created by good puck movement in front of the net. One was created by a pass from behind the net. One was created sort of from the side to side, you know, from either side of the net. But really creating traffic down in front of the net, putting pressure on the UNC defensemen. Certainly I liked, you know, UNC, their first goal, you know, hey, they got their point man on defense involved, able to get a nice shot from the top of the slot. Good puck movement, you know, on their part as well, and able to respond. So really different tempo overall from the first period, I thought.
Kendall is down there with Gamecock head coach Alan Serrois. Kendall, what do you have for us?
All right, Alan, well, first and foremost, what's the latest on John Riggins? Do you have any update?
No idea yet. I know it was bad, and for him leaving the game, knowing how he is, it's probably pretty bad.
How can your group overcome from that moment? What do you tell them in that instance to get them to keep going when a leader like that is down and out in the game?
Just in a way, just play for them. Just really, you know, play hard for our guys. And, you know, we got other guys on the team that can bring up and pick it up for them. We had an extra forward sitting up today, so it kind of works out in a way. But we'd love to get John back in the third.
1-goal game here heading into this final 20 minutes of hockey. It's a chippy game. It's an intense game. How do you hold on here to finish it off?
I think we're playing better. I think we played better in the second than we did in the first. Playing better in our defensive zone. We're putting pucks on net. There's like some weird bounces of the glass a little bit we got to get used to, but it's for both teams. So I think if we play our game and play hard and keep staying physical and clean up our zone, we'll be just fine.
Coach, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nice. Back to you.
That's head coach Alan Serwa. Thanks, Kendall. Definitely a chippier game than what we saw in the first period. Things are starting to ramp up, and we still have 20 more minutes coming up, but we've got your second intermission break coming up after the break.
Well, things got interesting in period number 2. 5 goals between the Tar Heels and the Gamecocks, and it's South Carolina with a 3-2 lead and 20 minutes left on the clock. Chris Lehman alongside John Johnson here at Truist Field. And JJ, quite a period. One of the big things that I want to point out in that period and talk about special teams. We saw a lot of productivity for both sides on the power play.
Right, so we started off the period with the power play by the Gamecocks. And we noted, how difficult that is. You've got to establish possession quickly. You only have about 50 seconds to work with. But they were able to come in that final 20 seconds of that power play. You saw Riggins on the near wall. Be patient. He takes a hit. He's able to feed his defenseman at the point. He was then able to pass down low, create a mini 2-on-1. A nice pass across the crease results in a goal for the Gamecocks. And then we saw that followed up by UNC with its own power play, right? Showing the same patience, good puck movement, and getting their defenseman at the point involved. Will Hilton, who had 4 goals coming into this, adds his 5th, right? A real scoring presence at the point, top scoring defenseman. So both power play units making a real impact. And now we ended the period on another power play. It's going to be split over both periods. Same thing, a real premium on the Gamecocks to show possession, to come in, clean, crisp, get set up quickly.
Yeah, and the other thing that really dominated that period was the physicality. We talked about it in period number 1. There was a lot of hitting. That got amped up in the second.
It did. I mean, we saw the unfortunate injury to Riggins, right? Really, that's not something you want to see out there. But a little bit of a byproduct of how physical this game has been, right? We had seen Riggins take hits earlier. Really unfortunate to have the knee injury out there. But we saw a lot of chippiness from both teams. but at the same time, we saw increased scoring opportunities, especially as the Gamecocks worked that puck down low, creating many 2-on-1s or 3-on-2s close in front of the net, making Lucas Brown's life difficult in front of the net there.
Well, it certainly felt like in the first period the two teams were struggling to find space. They found that space in period number 2, and the skill started to shine through. Left us with plenty of highlights to take a look at. Austin McConnell will join John Johnson when we come back to take a look at those highlights. It's 3-2 Gamecocks after 40 minutes.
Imagine a place where each one of us can leave a heel print on the world around us. Where the success of the team starts with you. That's Carolina. Imagine your heel print.
Wahoo! What's he so excited about?
He just heard about Gladwell Orthodontics Invisalign Night.
Woo! Yeah! Woo! Invisalign what?
Invisalign Night, the only night where new customers can save over $1,100 on Invisalign treatment.
And great prizes!
And they're giving away some pretty sweet prizes like free Thanksgiving dinner.
That sounds awesome!
Come join us November 5th and 6th for the Gladwell Orthodontics Invisalign Night at our Raleigh and Wake Forest locations.
Gladwell!
The orthodontist that mouths are talking about.
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hey everybody, I'm out here at our ice rink at Truist Field, but I want to remind you that this rink won't be here in just a few months. It'll be time for baseball season. The Charlotte Knights season is quickly approaching, and tickets are going on sale soon. Tickets will be on sale soon for our opening night, Friday, March 27th. The Charlotte Knights taking on the Durham Bulls, and for the rest of the season. So head over to charlotteknights.com. Stay on the lookout over there. We can't wait to welcome you all back to the ballpark.
Here at the University of South Carolina, I didn't have to choose between playing D1 ball and law school. You know, ever since I came here, my world just started expanding. They put me on this hallway with a bunch of doors, and then every door could be an opportunity. It's been a whole community of people who helped me transform my competitiveness on the court to doing meaningful work. I came here as a competitor. I left more certain of who I am and the impact I want to make.
Second intermission report alongside John Johnson. I'm Austin McConnell. I want to thank you for joining us. A star-studded fireworks explosion of offense there in the second period, John.
It really was. It was the polar opposite of the first period, I thought. First period, we saw a lot of shots, very few scoring opportunities. This period, we saw an equal number of shots, but really high scoring, quality scoring chances.
Gamecocks got the scoring started, making it 1-0, and then the Tar Heels answered back a couple minutes later, tying it up at 1 apiece. But then they just kept kind of trading goals here. This one.
We saw good puck movement on both power plays, right? Good opportunities. I thought the Gamecocks especially, you see right there, really setting up traffic in front of the net and creating opportunities, you know, by working down low.
And penalties have been a factor as well. As you can see the boarding call there from the Tar Heels. That was their second or third penalty that period. Gamecocks had one as well.
I'm sure the Tar Heel coaches are in there saying, look, let's get back to our game. These penalties are unnecessary. They're costly, right? They're putting us at a disadvantage. And so that'll be a point of focus, I'm sure, for the Tar Heels. If you're the Gamecocks, what you really like as a coaching staff is that you cleaned up your game some. You've created a lot of traffic in front of the Tar Heel goaltender, and you've responded well to the injury of your captain and your top star. So that's a really good thing to see.
Yeah, that was another storyline there in the second period. John Riggins going down with that knee-on-knee injury. We have not received any word or update on his condition, but he was limping pretty heavily off to the locker room.
I would be surprised if he comes back in place tonight. Hopefully the injury's not serious, but we did see a really nice response from the Gamecock team, really keeping tempo high, creating scoring chances, and great job by the Gamecock coaches adjusting their lines.
Yeah, and those goals, a lot of them came in the first half of the period when the ice was still kind of smooth. Why didn't we not see that in the first period? Was it kind of just getting the jitters out? Was it kind of just seeing how the ice felt in general?
I think there's a little bit of feeling out. You're on a new ice surface, etc. And so it's really a big adjustment for teams to get used to playing outside.
Absolutely. Well, 3-2, the Gamecocks currently have the lead. After scoring the first goal, the Tar Heels came back and tied it up. Then they did that once more, making it 2-2. And then with just a few minutes left in the second, the Gamecocks take the 3-2 lead. I will be turning it back over to Chris Lehman alongside John Johnson for the third period in just a few moments after the break. And I'll see you on the other side.
We're just a few minutes away from puck drop and start of the third period between North Carolina and South Carolina here at the 704 outdoor face-off. Chris Lehman and Austin McConnell with you. And Austin, as we look ahead to the third period, of course, a lot like the second period, South Carolina going to have a chance to get on the board early.
Absolutely. They capitalized at the very end of that power play to start the second. So they're obviously going to be looking to do the same here. But we kind of talked about the word discipline, and that's really going to be the focus of the locker room talk this intermission.
Absolutely. You look at the physicality love the physicality, but you have to make sure you stay within the bounds of the rules. We saw particularly North Carolina got a little too physical, got away from their game a little bit, and took a couple of penalties that South Carolina was able to take advantage of so far.
Yeah, and they're going to have another great opportunity to take advantage here because of that clean sheet of ice. That's what got the scoring started in the second period. That's what opened the scoring for the entire game. And then the floodgates opened up after that with 5 total goals in the second. But Gamecocks have a chance to now go up by 2 scores here early in the third.
Yeah, and as we talk about that discipline, I think that's the message from Coach Rice in that North Carolina locker room. Get back to your game, even though we've gotten away from it and we're behind. We're only down by 1, and all they need is a 1 bounce. And there are plenty of crazy bounces out there on that ice. All they need is 1 to tie things up. But if you're South Carolina and Coach Sirois, what are you thinking going into this period?
I would just say, stay disciplined. Don't let them get you too rattled. Don't get too heated to where you're making stupid penalties and stupid mistakes. Just keep your foot on the gas and keep doing what you need to do. You've now figured out how to score on these guys. You now know how to find the back of the net. You just got to keep your foot on the gas and mainly just try and score here as much as you can.
Well, now that the goals are on the board, we'll see if we find some more in the third. We're just about ready for puck drop. Next.
What's he so excited about?
He just heard about Gladwell Orthodontics Invisalign Night.
Woo! Yeah! Woo! Invisalign what?
Invisalign Night, the only night where new customers can save over $1,100 on Invisalign treatment.
And great prizes!
And they're giving away some pretty sweet prizes like free Thanksgiving dinner.
That sounds awesome!
Come join us November 5th and 6th for the Gladwell Orthodontics Invisalign Night at our Raleigh and Wake Forest locations.
Gladwell!
The orthodontist that mouths are talking about.
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
Welcome back to Truist Field in Uptown Charlotte. Chris Lehman and John Johnson back with you as we get set to start period number 3. The Gamecocks on the ice. The Tar Heels will be joining them shortly. Before we get to that action, we talked about it a little bit, and it's one of the biggest plays of the game so far. But John Riggins is down for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Now, as I look out there, I do see him along the benches. And so it looks like we might see him again here in the third period. That would be good news, wouldn't it, John?
That would be great news for the Gamecocks. We've heard from the staff that he is an incredibly tough player. So if he can go, or if there's a chance that he can go, he will definitely go. The hit looked severe, and he was down on the ice for a while, but hopefully he was able to get some ice on it during the second period, and he's able to go here in the third.
Someone who can give us a little bit more information on that situation is down at ice level, Kendall Smith. Kendall, what have you heard about John?
Yeah, guys, I just caught up with South Carolina's coaching staff as they came out of the locker room, and I asked them if John Riggins is going to go here in this final 20 minutes, and they said, yeah, he told us he wants to at least give it a try, so he's out here right now. He's going to skate around, feel it out, and just assess the situation, but he wants to go for this group in this last 20 minutes, and that's just a testament to his toughness and to his competitiveness that's been spoken about him not only by the coaching staff, but by his teammates as well. So he's out here, he's ready to lead the group, and he wants to give it a go, guys. It's a lower body injury, but these opportunities to play outside in an environment like this, they only come around every once in a while, and he wants to capitalize on it even through the injury.
I really appreciate that update, Kendall, and of course good news for Gamecocks fans to see him out there. We'll be keeping an eye on number 25, but the thing we're going to be keeping an eye on at the start of the period, John, is that power play. A total of 1 minute and 13 left on the penalty to Zukowski at the end of the period. And we'll see if the Gamecocks can find that goal, because it's a little bit different this period. They've already got a lead, so it wouldn't be a 1-goal lead. They would be doubling their lead if they find a way to put one in on the power play.
Right, and we'll get an early test of how good Riggins' knee is feeling, because he's on this top power play unit. We see him out there to start off the period.
And the two teams will swap ends again, so South Carolina in those white uniforms will be moving right to left across your screen, and the Tar Heels in their Carolina blue will move left to right.
It looks like the defensive pairing for the Tar Heels is going to be Drew Smith out there alongside Will Hilton. The other two penalty killers look to be number 44, Will Smith, as well as Patrick O'Shaughnessy, who will center things to start the third period. And it is Pushkar winning the draw, and South Carolina will look to start the power play back up.
I think UNC might be looking to generate a potential shorthanded opportunity here. They have 3 of their 4 top scorers actually out on this penalty kill right now.
And it'll be chipped up and out. Here's a potential opportunity. O'Shaughnessy from the left wing hits the defenseman Marvin with his shot. It'll be chipped around the wall for Scove. He'll skate it out. Laid along for Pushkar with speed. Looking to the middle. That pass chipped up, but not out. And now back in control is Scove. He'll circle into the corner. Knocked down by Hilton. Has some help there from Colin Reed, though. Reed will play it along the wall. Back up to the blue line. Slapped back behind the goal. Scove to it again. Down to 22 seconds on the man advantage. Here's Pushkar. He'll play catch with Reed. Back up to the top of the circle. The shot from Riggins fought off there by the goaltender in Brown.
Gamecocks a little more static on this power play this time around. You see a lot of puck movement on the outside, but really no traffic through the middle.
And that one gets under the stick of Tommy Marvin. That will finish off the power play. Riggins tees one up from the blue line. Handled easily by Brown. We'll get our first stoppage a minute and 21 seconds into the third.
Very different from the first power play where they scored at the beginning of the second period. This power play, they came in at 3 men down low, really weren't able to get set up or get any traffic in front of Lucas Brown, and really generate no quality scoring chances there.
Face-off will be to the glove side of Brown here. Carson Stickley on the draw for South Carolina, but it's the Tar Heels winning the defensive zone face-off and bringing it forward. Gingra dragging to the middle. Can't take the puck with him, though. And South Carolina's Matthew Winklebeck will chip it up and out.
I think the good news for the Gamecocks is Riggins got through that shift and looked like he was doing okay.
Yeah, he took a good slap shot there late in that shift as well. Chipped in, Tar Heels will go after it. First one there is Manser. Has some help from Zukowski. They'll work it back behind, but Riccitelli will play it up that near wall. Can't clear, though. Tar Heels with it again in the corner. Zukowski tried to touch it out in front, but it's intercepted, and the Gamecocks skated out at the red line. Thrown in by Clavin. He'll go after it. Lost an edge there as he collided with Manser. That will leave the puck for the Tar Heels to scoop up, but the breakout fails as it's pinched back down the wall by D-Boy. Behind the goal now, Clavin. Worked back up the wall, over on that near side, poked low by Dunphy. Tar Heels still struggling to clear it. Wrist shot off the blocker of Brown and back in. Well, this sustained pressure has given South Carolina a chance to get, looked like about a full change out of that.
Tar Heel defender just went with a little Murphy dump there just to get a change and get tempo back for their team.
They desperately needed a change there. The Tar Heels had been pinned in their own end there for a good minute or so. And South Carolina not done. Carson Scove shakes off a stick check. He'll cycle with it, throws it off a skate, deflects to Kevin Ma of North Carolina. Now the Tar Heels will move it up. Owen Kenny upended. He wants a call. He's going to get it. And it'll be a power play for North Carolina. Their second of the game, and they scored on their only power play so far.
They did. So their power play was also effective. We saw them establish themselves in the zone, create good puck movement down low, and then find Will Hilton at the top of the key for a really nice goal coming through high slot.
Yeah, that was perhaps the prettiest goal of that second period, and there were plenty of them. But now it's a 2-minute power play, a tripping penalty on number 9, David D-Boy, the senior defenseman out of Ellicott City, Maryland. And the Gamecocks need a kill here. Drew Smith working alongside Hilton. Tar Heels being patient. Zukowski takes it from O'Shaughnessy. Turns on the wall. Down low. Bumper pass back out for O'Shaughnessy. Up top, the shot from Hilton off the blocker of Tamoyan. Good pressure from the Tar Heels. Across, the pass from Zukowski hops the stick of Smith. And we've got another whistle, and it looks like the net has come off. And that will result in a pause, and the face-off will stay in the South Carolina end.
Very good puck movement by the Tar Heels on that power play. Good work on the perimeter. You'd like to see them just get a little bit of traffic right in front of Tomoyen's line of sight, right? Make it a little more difficult for them to see those shots coming in.
Well, the puck skitters out of the zone off the face-off. Hilton will chase back for it. And the Heels move forward again. Stopped up, Will Smith along the wall at the red line. O'Shaughnessy just shoots it in. Zukowski on the forecheck, but it's South Carolina chipping it out. About halfway through the man advantage, Tar Heels had a good first sequence in the zone, but ever since it came out, they've struggled to get themselves set back up. Cleared once again by Bonsukin this time.
Another good clear by the Gamecocks penalty killers. They go for a change here. Like to see a little shorter passes and a little just carry into the zone, get established if you're the Tar Heels.
O'Shaughnessy will carry. Able to find Smith, who fires high. Puck pinned at the blue line momentarily by Camboche, but the second effort from the Gamecock penalty kill sends it down the ice. Last 30 seconds of the man advantage. Move to that near side and sent back through and around. Grady looking back to the blue line. Ma will play it back down low. Again, it's Grady. He'll give it back to his defenseman. Broken stick for Kevin Ma. That means he's got to go off in a potential chance here. Carson Scove's short-handed try, and he hits the blocker of Brown. Smart play by the defenseman there to get off the ice and allow another man on to limit that chance.
Fortunately, the defender coming off the bench was able to take away the angle on that, but really a bad break for the Tar Heel power play.
Quick shot there from Camboche, doesn't get through. Penalty is killed for South Carolina, but the Heels still have pressure. Block shot there from Riggins. The second try goes. And at center ice, giving it a swing, Issa Manser has tied the game up.
And there we see the toughness of Riggins blocking that first shot, but unfortunately it kicks right back to Manser, who's able to get another shot in through traffic. A lot of traffic in the eye line for Tomoyen. I'm not sure he even saw the puck.
Tomoyen going to adjust his gear there as you get another look. First block was good from Riggins. He tried to get back to it and couldn't.
Yeah,
I'm not sure Tomoyen really
saw
saw
that
it
at all. He's down the save. I think, when Riggins is down, it probably takes a little bit of the way of his sight line as Riggins flops over to try to block that second shot, and then that low shot comes in on the far post.
I wonder when Manser had come up with that celebration, or when that had to have been a discussion at some point. I'm sure a little baseball celebration on the baseball field.
I'm sure that these guys have all thought about their celebration for the outdoor game, or perhaps have saved one in their pocket all season just for this time.
Well, 5.5 minutes into this third period, and we're tied again. The goal from Manser has made it 3-3. Was not a power play goal, but it was a kind of a result of that momentum generated from the power play. The South Carolina team, though, has responded quickly just about every time, and Baxter tried to stuff it home there. Back out in neutral ice, chipped back in, and the Tar Heels will regroup.
If you're the UNC coaches, you want to emphasize, look, this next shift, right, has to be a good, sound defensive shift, because UNC's had a tendency to give up goals promptly after scoring an equalizer.
We'll get a chance here. First shot blocked on the break-in, and it'll be reversed out by the Gamecocks. Down the left wing, cutting to the middle, shot coming off the stick of Aiden Dunphy, and a couple players go crashing into the net. We've got a South Carolina player a little slow to get up, and the tempers heating up a bit again here in the third.
Lucas Brown's in the mix there. You don't see that every day. Aiden Dunphy's showing nice skill on that far wall coming in. Good little deke move to get a good scoring opportunity.
Well, this game certainly delivering so far.
Well, from a fan perspective, this has been a great game to watch, right? Neither team has gotten out to a huge lead. It's been back and forth.
Here we'll get another look up close at the chance. You can see the collision over on the far post. A few guys going hard into that area in case there was a rebound. It was Matthew Baxter, who I think he's fine. He looks like he's over at the bench. He'll be okay. But he was the South Carolina player that ended up going into the net.
Yeah, Aiden Dunphy, again, a nice move. He comes in, puts that little deke on Aiden Pye.
Well, the face-off will be on top of the North Carolina blue line, it looks like. 13:42 on the clock, 3-3 the score. And it actually looks like we're going to get a penalty on the Tar Heels as Daniel Cobber is in the penalty box. But since the net came off and since it was forced off by South Carolina, they say, it'll be a neutral zone faceoff that starts this power play as Cobber is in the box for Lucas Brown.
Well, if you're UNC, this is not what you wanted, right? You know, we talked about their tendency to sort of, you know, give up goals or give up opportunities after scoring an equalizer.
And it'll be cleared out by the Tar Heels all the way down. Some pressure coming from Will Smith as Tamoyan moves it along the wall.
Again, we're seeing Will Smith and O'Shaughnessy and Hilton out there, all who have the ability to put the puck in the back of the net if they get a short-handed opportunity.
Both of these teams have scored on the power play as well. North Carolina is 1 for 2. The Gamecocks are 1 for 3. They have failed to score on their last 2 power plays here in this game. About a minute left on the man advantage. Just over 12 and a half left in the game. Puck kicked up to the blue line for Bonsukin. He'll just ring it around the wall. Hacked at there in the corner. Tommy Marvin in there along with Colin Reed, who's upended. That will allow the Tar Heels to clear it the length of the ice. 37 seconds left on the man advantage.
Nice use of the body to take the Gamecock puck carrier off the puck and be able to get that clear.
Played forward now for Dunphy. He helped create that situation that led to the power play. Chance in front for Tajan is shut down from behind. This has been a solid penalty kill from North Carolina.
Yeah, Seamus Murphy with a nice back check there to take away the scoring opportunity. Or, excuse me, that was Aiden Zukowski.
A little bit of a wrestling match over in that far corner. Gamecocks come away with the puck, though. It'll be moved forward for Van Mullen. He'll touch it to the middle, but the Tar Heels able to break that up. Extra hits behind the play, and we'll continue with the puck back in the Gamecocks' end. Tajan has some space up the right wing. As he enters the zone, wrists one off the pad of Brown, and a rebound over along that near wall. Held in at the blue line nicely by Baxter, and a shot in on goal, shut down by Brown. We're starting to see a little extra pushing and shoving after the whistle now.
We're seeing some physicality. We're seeing a little back and forth up-tempo rushes. And then we got a nice shot by Van Mullen there coming through the high slot area where Lucas Brown flashes the leather and makes a nice save.
That'll be an offensive zone draw here for South Carolina. Trying to kind of steady the ship. They did have that power play to tip the scales in their favor a little bit, but it's been a little bit more North Carolina's period. Obviously, they've been able to even things up on the scoreboard. South Carolina back to work, though. Backhand try. Misses that near side post, and it'll eventually be collected by the Tar Heels. Ansbacher lifts it up and out. Gamecocks shoot it right back in. Trying to up the pressure. Pinching in to make the play there is Clavin. Unable to come away with it, though. Florian Zajic pokes it forward before that's reversed by Albers. Back on it, Clavin looking to the middle, takes a hit as he makes the pass. That was a good, healthy hit from Zajic. And the Tar Heels able to move back up ice with it now. Ansbacher stops on a dime, plays it back behind the goal. Owen Kenny after it. Too many Gamecocks, though. Here's Clavin. Having trouble clearing as Zajic pinches in to hold the zone. Second effort will get it into neutral ice as Carson Stickley stumbles across the blue line. He'll shoot it down the ice. Brown out to play it, so no icing.
I'm seeing both teams contest the blue line a little bit, right? A little more physical, trying to prevent that clean entry into the zone.
Starting to see the two teams kind of settling down between the whistles a bit. Not quite as fiery as they were earlier on in the period.
I'm sure both coaches, you have 10 minutes left. It's basically a 0-0 game from their perspective, right? You want to get back to your fundamentals, right? Good puck possession, clean, crisp passes, establishing yourself in the offensive zone. And most importantly, no bad turnovers.
Icing will be waved off there, as getting to it just before the goal line was Hilton. We got a big hit over in front of the Carolina bench, and that is going to draw a power play for the Tar Heels, as we've got a hand up. And it looks like the guilty party is Carson Scove, as he heads into the box guilty of tripping. We've got Kendall Smith standing by down ringside, and Kendall, it's been a fiery third period so far.
Yes, very fiery, and you gotta love this, right? I mean, outdoor hockey here in Charlotte, and I think the best part about it is that these two programs, it speaks to how much hockey has grown here in the South, and someone that can really speak to that is North Carolina's head coach, Steve Rice. He's had quite the career. He was in the NHL for 8 seasons and, had 64 goals, played 329 games, and played for teams like the New York Rangers, Edmonton Oilers, Hartford Whalers, and of course the Carolina Hurricanes. He moved back to Canada after his time with the Canes, and then he's like, yeah, I wanted to come back to the Raleigh area because I just loved it that much. So this is so cool to be able to see this, and just the way with this crowd, with these teams, hockey continues to grow in the South. And speaking of it growing in the South, a lot of that thanks to the Carolina Hurricanes and how well they've done. And I heard, speaking of the Canes,
overtime
UNC
win?
had maybe a little, an overtime win here tonight. Did UNC have a little special guest yesterday, guys? A little hype-up conversation from somebody special?
They did. Rod Brindamore actually spoke to the team at a team dinner last night with that classic energy that he has, always pacing, never standing still. Really hit home the values, of course, of the Hurricanes, as that shot fought off by Tamoyan. But that was certainly a special moment for the Tar Heels. Rebound pounced on by the goaltender, and he'll freeze it with 1:09 left on the power play.
What I like here is they're creating a little traffic in front of Tamoyan, right? They're working the puck down low, getting somebody in front of the net to maybe take that down low pass, get a point-blank shot. In the second period, the Gamecocks scored on almost the exact same type of setup.
And things have tipped back in the favor of North Carolina here with the power play going. But you've got to like the way, if you're a Tar Heel fan, the way that they have been able to stick in this game, as they have not been able to take a lead, but they have been able to come back from behind a goal a couple, or rather 3 times now. Shot stopped by Tamoyan. Another face-off coming with 1:04 left on the man advantage.
They've responded each time, and I would say, the second period, I would definitely say the score sheet showed that in favor, from a tempo point of view of the Gamecocks. And I think this period, if you were scoring it sort of boxing style, is definitely in favor of the Tar Heels.
Oh, a chance there for Finelli to be sprung loose. Couldn't quite get away. Gamecocks still able to clear it back to the Tar Heel blue line. Ma back across in front of the benches. It'll be elevated in for the Tar Heels to go in on the forecheck. First to it, Bonsukin diving after the puck as it got away with it from him. And the Tar Heels take back over. Camboche works it back up top. Gingra's pass chased down by Kevin Ma. Down to the last 33 on the tripping penalty to South Carolina's Owen Noonan.
20 seconds left on the power play. About one time to have one good rush and establish yourself in the zone, maybe for one scoring opportunity here.
Ma, headmans for Gingra, leaves it there for Ma. He'll work with it top of the circle, looks across, dusted off, shot coming, and it's elevated up and out of play. Not sure if Tamoyan got a piece of it, but I talked about the big body of Tyler Tamoyan, and I think it was very evident on that play there. We'll get a look up close. The shot from Gingra.
Gingra's had one in the second period, looking for a second one. I think he might have just lost the handle there. If he had snapped that shot a little bit earlier, I think he has a much higher chance of scoring.
Well, there's still 5 seconds of power play time. Tar Heel's going to have to be aware of Noonan coming out of the box. That's not going to be a problem, though, as South Carolina clears to finish off that power play. And we're down to the last 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Tie game here between the Tar Heels and the Gamecocks. And now South Carolina back at full strength, trying to set up on the forecheck. Scove spins it to the middle. Pass a little bit hard off the skate of Tajin. He'll work it down with the glove. Wrists one wide. Scove has the rebound. Swings it back around. But that one doesn't make it through traffic, and the Tar Heels break it out. Owen Kenny tracking it down below the South Carolina goal line. Gamecocks able to find the loose puck first. Riccitelli tried to clear it around the wall and out, but the Tar Heels defensively had Zajic there. Now they'll work with it. The blue line hops up and out of the zone. And now UNC has to regroup. 6:35 to go here in the third period. Ooh, Reagans looking for a heavy hit there on Ansbacher.
High hit by Tajin of the Gamecocks there, but not called.
These two teams ratcheting up the physicality a bit here. Ansbacher's shot blocked. Riccitelli has the rebound. He'll circle back and then elevate it out where Hilton can settle it down for the Tar Heels. Back forward, it's Gutman. Down into the corner, backhand pass, sets it up there for Kodish, in front, and the net will come off the moorings as they wrestle for the puck there. And we'll get a stoppage. Faceoff stays in South Carolina's end.
Nice play coming from behind the net and generating a quick scoring chance on a potential wraparound here.
So 5:56 to go. Shots are 42-37 in favor of South Carolina. But of course the score, the most important stat, all square, 3-3. As they set up for the faceoff, Riggins for South Carolina up against Gutman of the Tar Heels. Gutman wins it to the middle, but South Carolina able to close off any shot attempt. Riggins lifts it forward, and his teammate Baxter can get to it first. Around the wall to the far side, collected by Reed, throws it through the blue paint, nobody there, and it'll be collected and carried out by Cam Glonick. Into the middle, Gutman, blue attire. Puck still loose, though, as they try to settle it down in the South Carolina slot. From the blue line, Hilton's shot deflects wide. Back behind the goal, it'll be Dunphy protecting and then finding space. Looks back across. He's got Baxter there to move forward. Baxter working on Hilton, who steps up at the blue line and knocks it loose. Now Kodish and the Tar Heels in offside.
The UNC coach is showing a lot of confidence in Gutman and Kodish, both of them freshmen out there, right, up against Reagans, the top scorer on that team. Really out there trying to, set a little tempo, be a little bit more of that physical checking line, but also generating a good scoring chance coming in from behind the net.
So the face-off on top of the South Carolina blue line. O'Shaughnessy wins it for the Tar Heels. Moved across to Manser, most recent goal scorer, who sends it deep, but South Carolina returns the favor. No icing, and now they'll fight for it behind the goal. Loose puck. Carson Stickley there for the Gamecocks, but it'll be Carolina taking it away and moving forward. Cam Bosch at the red line. Pops it up in the air. They're
and if
still
you're
trying to settle.
Carolina, this is the line that you want to be generating, your top quality scoring chances.
Breakout here for the Gamecocks. Pass up into neutral ice will be chopped down by Stickley. He gets pinned to the far wall. Couple of Tar Heels there. A little bit of help coming from Winklebleck, but North Carolina moves it up and out anyhow. You can kind of sense the tension in the crowd. There's not quite as much energy. I think it's a little bit more nervous energy now. You got a tight game, and the next mistake could be the difference.
That's right. I mean, you'll see both teams tighten up a little bit, right? Final 4 minutes. Nobody wants to make that mistake, and the real question is who wants to step up and score a winning goal here.
Around the wall, Newnham able to clear the zone. It gets past Gingra, not strong enough for icing. And UNC will work it out. A one-man breakout for Gingra, but he'll turn it over at the red line. D to D, the pass finds David DeBoy, and he'll float it into the zone. Set up for Kevin Ma of the Tar Heels. He gets run through by Newnham. Puck's loose. Man open in front, but Newnham unable to connect with his captain in Pushkar, and now the Tar Heels move it back up. They come in onside. Shot whistles wide. The wrister from Zukowski. Back out in front. Stepping in, the defenseman with a shot, catches the glass there. Good opportunity for Drew Smith.
Great opportunity by Smith, pinching in, really going for that nice wrister.
He'll glove it down again, wrists another one wide. It's back to him again, and that one's blocked. 3 minutes left in this one. Tar Heels trying to continue the pressure. Gingra loops it back. He's being pestered from behind. Walking in, and a poke check from Tamoyan shuts that down. Tar Heels all over South Carolina, but here's a chance in transition. On the rush, moving forward, Finelli drops it off, and the shot from Tajin is fought off by Brown. Loose on the side of the goal, still there, and Brown able to freeze it with 2:36 to go. But South Carolina putting a little bit of a scare into the Tar Heels there.
Nice rush. All three of the South Carolina forwards come in on the right side here of the ice. They're funneled well by UNC into the corner, right, to reduce their scoring chance. But then they create a lot of traffic in front of the net. You would like to see a little more of a clear out or actively by the defenseman.
The officials having a quick conversation over where that little scuffle occurred. It doesn't look like anything will come of it, nor was there really anything that rose to the level of a penalty, I would say. So offensive zone face-off at 5-on-5 for these two teams in the North Carolina end. 2:36 left on the clock, and we're still knotted up. 3-3 the score. Off the face-off, Scove wins it back for Tajin. Quick shot, another glove save from Brown. And he's done a good job here in this third period of keeping the Gamecocks off the board and allowing North Carolina to even the score.
Yeah, we got Sangster, another freshman out there taking the drop.
On Sangster trying to fight off Scove. Tar Heels unable to clear. Tajin along the wall. Just throws it cross ice. It'll be taken off the wall by the defenseman Bonsukin. Dropped off. Scove's wrister ends up back behind the goal. Now Van Mullen in the corner. 1-on-2 against the Tar Heel defense. North Carolina takes over, and they'll play it off the wall and out as Manser clears. He'll follow it up in the neutral zone. Here's a chance brewing for the Tar Heels. Played through the middle, but not enough time for Jack Sangster to get to it. Now it's North Carolina's chance to apply the pressure, but as they make a change, it'll be cleared out by the Gamecocks. Under 2 to play now. Shuffled into the zone by Owen Kenny as the Tar Heels complete their change. And South Carolina looks to skate it up that far side. Played forward for Van Mullen. Hopped his stick. Back the other way, Will Smith. Hands it off O'Shaughnessy. His shot right into the pads of Tamoyan. Had a little trouble with the rebound as it ends up back behind the goal again.
Will
90
Smith set that
seconds
up with a
left.
great drop pass.
Along the side of the goal. Stripped away by Tajin. He's just looking to clear, and Zajic unable to hold the zone.
Smart clear, gets a change for his team.
Well, we mentioned it earlier on in the broadcast. Was a one-goal game. South Carolina won both one-goal games last year. A try in front. Gets wide of the goal as the Tar Heels continue to look for that difference maker. But we had 2 one-goal games between South Carolina and North Carolina last year. We're going to have the same thing here tonight as this one sent the length of the ice. It'll be icing and a crucial opportunity here for North Carolina. Going to be some tired legs out there for the Gamecocks. And you can set up a matchup if you want if you're Coach Steve Rice.
It'll be interesting to see who he puts out. If he puts O'Shaughnessy out, get some of his top scorers out there.
54.7 seconds left. Now, the unfortunate thing for the Tar Heels is their top line was just out there, so they need a timeout to give them some rest. They're going to go with the Grady line. He'll win it back to Hilton. Walking the line, hands it off. Quick shot, bounces through and deflects wide of the goal, but it's still the Tar Heels holding the zone. Gingra wraps it around the wall, be collected by Drew Smith. He'll throw it towards goal, looking for a deflection and doesn't get it. Now down to 40 seconds left as South Carolina clears, and a good hustle play to get down the ice by Colin Reed and negate the icing behind the net.
Hustle play, otherwise they're going to be stuck on the ice even longer with another icing.
Reed has space, circles out in front, rebound loose between the legs. The try doesn't go as Brown seals down low. Another chance up top, doesn't get through, deflected to the corner with 15 seconds left. Reed again, back up top. Another shot coming loose in the slot, and the Tar Heels able to clear. Bouncing puck. Gingra after it in front of the South Carolina bench. And as the puck gets deflected back to the blue line of the Tar Heels, we're going to run out of time in regulation. What a game so far. We're headed to overtime.
Fantastic final flurry by the Gamecocks. Probably their best flurry of the whole period. Generating multiple scoring chances in front of the net here, forcing Lucas Brown to make some very good saves.
Oh, and it has been as advertised, this matchup. And one thing I think you mentioned before we got on the air earlier tonight, John, was you felt like these teams were kind of mirror images of each other to some extent, and it's played out that way a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we talked, beforehand about similar records, right? Defensive style of hockey, relying on key senior scorers on your team to generate offense, right? One or two key people on defense, too, that can put the puck in the net. And we've seen a little bit of that tonight, right? Good balanced game, contributions when it needed. The UNC defenseman Will Hilton scored a key goal to get them back into that game, a back and forth game. And we've seen changes in tempo. The first period was really disjointed, and then we went into a second period that was really dominated in many ways by the Gamecocks, but with good responses by the Tar Heels when they needed to keep the game close. And then in the third period, much of it dominated tempo-wise by the Tar Heels until the very end here, where the Gamecocks really created a lot of opportunity in front of the net.
Well, it'll be 5 minutes of 3-on-3 overtime. The standard overtime procedure here in the ACHA is 5 minutes of 3-on-3 overtime, and then you go to a best-of-3 shootout. Now, if anyone takes the penalty, which as we've seen in this game, not out of the question here in this overtime, but if we have a penalty in the last 2 minutes and we go to a shootout, the player in the penalty box is not eligible for the shootout. So that is worth keeping in mind, but I think with the extra ice, I'd be a little bit surprised in the skill that these two teams have. Somebody is going to find the back of the net here in the next 5 minutes of play. And one team is going to be walking away ecstatic, and the other one is going to be dealing with heartbreak.
Well, 3-on-3 is a real treat for the fans. You get to see a lot of skill, a lot of speed out here. There's a lot of open ice for these players to work with.
It'll be the Gamecocks in control first. Carson Scove will skate it up. He gets taken down. Play will carry on. No hand up, so no penalty coming. Here's Bonsukin looking things over, trying to walk around O'Shaughnessy, who lost an edge but still knocked the puck loose. Gamecocks still in possession. Scove walking in front. He gets tied up and can't get a shot away. Looking to the middle. That pass is blocked. And it's still Carson Scove who gets it back. And it'll be cleared down the ice.
Tar Heels going for a change for the two forwards.
And North Carolina still hasn't possessed the puck in this overtime period. With some speed, Pushkar, the captain, looking for room. Swings it through the middle, nobody there. Stepping down low, Bonsukin has it squirt loose. Pushkar just throws it across the ice, nobody there though. And Gingra will take over a minute into overtime as the Tar Heels will get their turn with possession.
Pushkar did a nice job coming into the zone, taking physical contact and retaining control of the puck.
Gingra upended as he comes into the zone. Gamecocks take it away. Colin Reed pivots out of pressure. He'll slide it
Potential
forward.
2-on-1 here.
Chance coming for the Gamecocks into the middle. They score! A minute and 22 seconds into overtime, and the Gamecocks win it 4-3.
Well, we saw a nice transition through the zone, created a nice 2-on-1. Good patience by the passer. I didn't see who made that pass. And then Gamecocks buried that for the winning goal. We'll see the replay here.
Get a look there. I believe, and it is the captain, Jake Pushkar, who gets the overtime winner. And if you're South Carolina, you couldn't ask for much better of a guy to do it than your captain, who gets the winner.
Well, he started off the night with the goal, and he ended the night with the goal. Great job. That's what you want out of your captain, right? Setting the tempo at the start of the game and then finishing the game when you need it.
Now, these two teams will get together here at center ice to shake hands. And when we
It
get a
looks like
moment,
it was Riccitelli with that assist coming across.
yeah, it was. You get another look at it, and no fault of Lucas Brown. There really wasn't much that he could do on a play like that. You just hope you can get enough of it to keep it out. And well,
right.
The Gamecocks had to fight off really 3 separate comebacks from the Tar Heels as North Carolina fell behind 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. And unfortunately, they fell behind 4-3 when they don't get an opportunity to respond. And it's South Carolina with a very memorable night. Not in the same way, but still a memorable night for the Tar Heels as well.
Great game by both teams. You know, we saw a really competitive game. It's what we expected. You know, the Tar Heels, again, have not given up more than 4 goals since October 1st, right, to any team, even in losing efforts. So, you know, good defensive games played by both. We saw really high-quality goals, especially in the second period. And that final goal in 3-on-3 was a beauty, and I'm sure a fan pleaser.
Yeah, well, I think we're about ready down on the ice level as Kendall Smith has our overtime game-winning hero, the captain of the Gamecocks, Jake Pushkar. Kendall, what have you got?
Well, Jake, congratulations. What a win. What a goal. What did you see on that game winner?
Not much, pretty gassed. 23 Ben Riccitelli, what a pass to get it over to me. Just trying to find the back of the net, and luckily I did.
This game was physical, it was intense, and John Riggins came back in the third period after a pretty scary hit there in the second. Just what can you say about the resilience of your group getting it done here in OT?
Yeah, Riggins, tough guy. You know, had a feeling we'd see him back. He just fights through everything. He's a heart and soul, one of the heart and soul guys of this team. He wants it bad. He showed it there. He's a fucking great player.
You guys got the win here last year. You do it again here this season on outdoor ice in Uptown Charlotte. What will you remember most about a night like this, Jake?
Just everyone here, the electricity. We might have to make this place our home barn. We love it here. Hope to be back.
We heard all the Gamecock chants out there. I'm sure you were loving that as well. Congratulations. What a goal. What a win for the Gamecocks.
Thank you so much.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Kendall. That was a heck of a hockey game, and the captain, a little snow shower for his team as he gets into the team picture. It'll be a fun night for the Gamecocks, but these two teams are going to go at it again tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how tomorrow's game go, but I'd expect a very similar game tomorrow, right? Fatigue will be a factor, but these are two evenly matched teams, and, you know, I like a brewing cross-state rivalry that we have in the makings here.
Yeah, it is going to be an excellent game tomorrow. So for those of you who didn't make it up to Charlotte for this game, who are down in the Columbia area, you got a good game you can go check out tomorrow afternoon. I believe a 3 p.m. puck drop for that game between the Gamecocks and Tar Heels. We'll have NC State and Alabama back here for the third and final game of the weekend tomorrow night. But here tonight, an overtime win for the South Carolina Gamecocks. 4-3 the final. We'll be back with postgame.
Imagine a place where each one of us can leave a heel print on the world around us, where the success of the team starts with you. That's Carolina. Imagine your heel print.
What's he so excited about?
He just heard about Gladwell Orthodontics Invisalign Night.
Woo! Yeah! Woo! Invisalign what?
Invisalign Night, the only night where new customers can save over $1,100 on Invisalign treatment.
And great prizes!
And they're giving away some pretty sweet prizes like free Thanksgiving dinner.
That sounds awesome!
Come join us November 5th and 6th for the Gladwell Orthodontics Invisalign Night at our Raleigh and Wake Forest locations.
Gladwell!
The orthodontist that mouths are talking about.
Have you heard of an exciting global company that is dedicated to improving outcomes for people fighting cancer? A company that is transforming life sciences into life-saving cancer drugs. A company that has demonstrated excellence and innovation for 20 years. Have you heard of Huya Bio International? At Huya, fighting cancer is our sport, and we're fighting for you.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hey everybody, I'm out here at our ice rink at Truist Field, but I want to remind you that this rink won't be here in just a few months. It'll be time for baseball season. The Charlotte Knights season is quickly approaching, and tickets are going on sale soon. Tickets will be on sale soon for our opening night, Friday, March 27th. The Charlotte Knights taking on the Durham Bulls, and for the rest of the season. So head over to charlotteknights.com. Stay on the lookout over there. We can't wait to welcome you all back to the ballpark.
Here at the University of South Carolina, I didn't have to choose between playing D1 ball and law school. You know, ever since I came here, my world just started expanding. They put me on this hallway with a bunch of doors, and every door could be an opportunity. It's been a whole community of people who helped me transform my competitiveness on the court to doing meaningful work. I came here as a competitor. I left more certain of who I am and the impact I want to make.
Welcome back to Truist Field after an exciting overtime win for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Chris Lehman alongside Austin McConnell as we wrap things up here at the second game of the 704 outdoor face-off in Austin. Well, we talked about the resilience of the South Carolina team. They had to endure 3 comebacks from North Carolina tonight, but they get it done in overtime.
Yeah, and who else but Jake Pushkar, the captain, getting his second goal of the night, including the OT game winner. And then the grit and determination from John Riggins to come back. I mean, it wasn't just those 2 guys either. That whole team just kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and so did the Tar Heels as well. Yeah. Just the adversity they had to overcome made for an exciting game and an exciting finish as well.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned before we went to break at the end of the game, they're going to do it again in, what time is it now, like 10:30? They're going to do it in, about 12, 15 hours, somewhere in that range. They're going to do it all over again.
Yeah, back down in Columbia tomorrow. Should be another great matchup as well. I expect pretty much the same game we saw tonight. Very physical, very chippy at times. Discipline. We talked about that all night. That's been the word of the evening. And I expect that the coaches are going to be pounding that into their locker room tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have an exciting one tomorrow in Columbia. Here at Truist Field, we'll have NC State alongside the Alabama Frozen Tide. Those 2 teams actually in action up in the Raleigh area right now before they make the trip down for that game. But as for tonight, that's all we've got for you. A heck of a hockey game. A big thank you, of course, to my partners, Austin McConnell, John Johnson, and Kendall Smith down ringside. A heck of a crew to work with here tonight. Hope you enjoyed an exciting game. The final score in overtime, South Carolina 4, North Carolina 3.